Art Scove, the referee, the Esposito line against the Clark line. Game 2 of the Stanley Cup Finals. For the first period, let's go Flyers and let's go Don Earl.
Thank you, Gene. And once again, a pleasant good evening, everyone. Art Scove set to drop the puck between Bobby Clark on the right, Phil Esposito on the left. On the faceoff, Boston controls. Sims to Orel on the near side. Retreats against the forechecking of Clark. Across to Sims on the left. Sims carries to the red line. Pops one into the Flyers' right wing corner. Hodge trying to dig it loose. Tied up by Schultz. Dug loose by Clark. Clark pulls it around Cashman. Just feeds it ahead for Flett, but it's intercepted. A hard check by Clark takes down Al Sims. Now it's Dave Schultz on the left wing. Retreats back at center ice. Looking for an opening. Across the line for Clark, breaking on the left wing. Clark, centering pass, gets by Flett. Van Imp can't keep it in, offside. Called against the Flyers. Face off across the way in the Flyers' right wing.
We've already seen one early adjustment by Fred Sherrill, returning to an experiment that he tried in the last third of the season, removing Billy Barber from the Clark-Flett line and placing Dave Schultz on the left as sort of a shadow and protector for the Flyers center. And you look for Billy Barber to skate with Kindrachuk and Selesky on the third line out.
Clark, Schultz, Flett, Joe Watson, Moose DuPont. On the face-off, inside the Boston line, controlled by the Bruins. Cashman crosses to Orr. He'll scoot behind his own net to start the play. Orr starts right, but moves left ahead for Al Sims on the far side. Off the stick of Ken Hodge to the Flyers' right wing corner. DuPont's there. Winds it up for Schultz, ahead for Clark. Clark has Schultz breaking out of his own zone to center ice. Schultz winds up and fires. Skate save, Gilbert. Rebound Flett, centering pass, Schultz. But Orr had him tied up. Now it's Cashman out the right wing. Cut off in the corner by Bobby Clark. Tries the left side. Drops it off for Orr behind the Boston net. Orr straight up the middle. Across the red line. Fires. Glove save. Perrant from center ice. McLeish, the rebound, trying to work his way up the left wing boards along the near side. Runs into Hodge. Kept in by Orr. Cuts to the middle. Across to Sims on the far side. The drive. Hits the post. It hit the post behind Perrant, and Schultz moves it ahead for McLeish. McLeish to center ice. McLeish has Flett open on the right wing. Schultz cutting on the left. Drop pass is picked up by Cashman. Cashman back to center ice. Trying to get a shot away. Winds it around the Flyer boards as Cashman and Jimmy Watson lock sticks. Now it's Flett on the right wing. Flett off the stick of Lonsbury. Just taps it to the Boston line. Ken Hodge there. Back into the Flyer zone where it's Van Imp. Flyers in a line change off the stick of McLeish. McLeish wrapped up by Hodge, goes to the Boston backboards. Vadnais checked off the puck, but it's picked up by Esposito. Draws to Busick on the far side. On the near side, Schmatz, but he's offside. We'll have a face-off and neutralize.
Well, late Scheid has had a pop on the other goaltender, Dave Schultz, with a drive on the left wing from inside the blue line. Took an obvious dip, but made a tougher save for Gilbert, and then Sims from the left point threw a screen, beat Perrant, and he was saved as it hit the outside of the post.
McLeish line off for the Flyers, the Shepherd line on for Boston. Carol Vadnais inside his own zone, up the right wing boards for Schmatz. McLeish checked off the puck by Shepherd, gets it inside the Boston zone. Dallas Smith tied up by Dornhofer, but the puck comes to center ice for Busick. Fires long on Perrant, glove save, scoops it to the near side for Jimmy Watson. Watson up the left wing board, centering pass out of his own zone, McLeish. McLeish fires to the right wing corner, skips to the left wing corner. Watson behind the net gets by Dornhofer, but McLeish is there. Back to Dornhofer, he's behind the Boston net. Shepherd has him tied up, but Dallas Smith comes out with the puck. Lead pass, Vadnais to Busick on the left wing at center. Across the Flyer line. Return pass intercepted by the back checking of Ross Lonsbury. McLeish drops it off for Dornhofer. Dornhofer winds up to McLeish in the corner. Centering pass is behind the Boston net. Gilbert and Dallas Smith almost get wrapped up with each other. Dornhofer taken down, and we've got no penalty, says Art Scove. He shakes his head no.
Well, Art Scove, as soon as Dornhofer went down, you could see the hand start to come up, and then he threw it back as he was tempted to call a hooking penalty on Dallas Smith, and there was a question mark on that whether it was or wasn't, and Dornhofer, for his efforts, gets the face-off in center ice. We've played 3:14 into a scoreless first period, but both clubs have had opportunities to score. Sims, the better of the two, when he hit the post behind Perrant, at Schultz on that quick drive from inside the blue line that dipped, and Gilbert had to make the kick save to that far side. Then moments ago, the Flyers were buzzing Lonsbury and company, and as Dornhofer tried to dig the puck up in the offensive right wing corner, Dallas Smith got that sticker there, and he went down. Skov appeared to hesitate about calling it and then did not. Now there's a question out there about a line change, and with Kindrachuk out there, Bep Gitlin trying to counter for the second time with Esposito, but Skov says the changes are over and you leave out the Savard line.
Savard line against the Kindrachuk line. Puck loose along the near boards. O'Reilly bumps into Barber, but it taps the puck back into his own zone for Al Sims. Or back to Sims in the far corner. Bounces one off the boards for Don Marcotte. Barber checks Sims coming out of the zone. Puck picked up by Savard, intercepted by DuPont. Up to Kindrachuk with Barber breaking. Kindrachuk still controls right on the stick of Al Sims, and back comes Boston. Marcotte up the left wing. Fires from the line to the near corner to our right. Rebound taken by DuPont. Knocked right back in again by Andre Savard of Boston. Kindrachuk controls. Almost broken up by Marcotte. Kindrachuk will start the rush. Feeds off to Tom Bladen on the right side. He's upended by a good hip check thrown by Savard. And we've got a penalty coming up against Boston. So apparently Art Skov saw it differently. And so with 15:54 left in the first period, there's no score.
Andre Savard picks up a tripping penalty, and a questionable one at that, for taking down Tom Bladen at what appeared to be a good body and hip check, and went right into him. And it may be from Skov's angle, Don. He appeared to think that it was Savard's legs rather than the hip that took him down. But it's a penalty at 4:06, the first of the game. And for Savard in the series, the playoff series to date, he now has 8 penalty minutes. Power play, Philadelphia.
Savard never a heavy penalty carrier, more of a playmaker, and in the style of a Rick McLeish. Now it's Clark intercepting in the Flyer zone. Flyer on the power play. Banks the pass off the near boards for McLeish, picked up by Barber. Winds it around the Boston boards. Clark streaking for it, but offside is the call by linesman Matt Pavlich. And I'm trying to figure out which one it was, unless it was Clark himself.
May have been Dornhofer on the far side, with Clark right here very close. But whistle down, 1:45 remaining on the penalty play.
Faceoff will be outside the Boston line on the Flyer right wing boards. Clark against Shepard. Shepard draws it all the way back. Off the faceoff to the Flyers right wing corner. Picked up by Barber. Has it behind his own net. Bruins going with Marcotte and Shepard as their penalty killers. Clark out the left wing. Drops it back for Barber. Barber crisscrosses with Clark. Fires to the right wing corner in the Boston zone. Marcotte's there first. Behind his own net. Gives away out front. Backhanded by Barber. He's upended. Bladen in there. Heavy traffic jam around the Boston net. Bladen can't control the puck in the zone. And it's tapped the length of the ice by Don Marcotte. Good setup by the Flyers, but they couldn't put it home. Marcotte bumps McLeish down. Here comes Barber. Barber checked out the puck. Picks it up again. Trying to go wide on Orr. Glove save off the glove hand of Gilbert. Rebound control by Bladen. Goes behind the net for Dornhofer in the Boston zone. Dornhofer has it scooped off his stick by Orr. Here comes Orr. McLeish, the wet man back. McLeish trying to cut in behind him. Orr still controlling. Bumped off the puck by Dornhofer behind the Flyer net. And the Flyers start out with 40 seconds left on the penalty to Andre Savard. Dornhofer across the line. On the right wing, Dornhofer's shot. Bouncing glove, puck save off the glove hand. Another shot gets through Dornhofer as he was camped to the far side of the net, and it's cleared down the ice by Esposito. Now Perron leaves it for Jimmy Watson. Watson trying to get around Esposito. Fires it off the backboards to the near side for Lonsbury. Lonsbury return pass on the right wing at center, Flett. 10 seconds left on the advantage for the Flyers. Lonsbury on the left wing across the line. Lonsbury shot, stopped by the glove hand of Gilbert, and he pounces on the rebound as Simone Nollet and Dallas Smith get their sticks up high as play is stopped here at the Garden with 3 seconds left on the penalty to Andre Savard.
Flyers a little break there as Bladen had committed himself from the right defensive point to go into the net, and on that play from behind the net remained there, and that melee, and that was when Orr broke out to that open side, and Don, the break came when it was McLeish taking on Orr, and McLeish really, next to perhaps Nollet, the only wheels on the Flyer club that could have handled Orr's breakaway speed at that juncture. And Rick did take him out well enough to break up what could have been a clean break-in on Perron.
Terry Crisp on the faceoff. Kick save, Gilbert, and it's cleared to center ice, and Boston is back at full strength. Van Imp to the near side for Jimmy Watson at the Flyer line. Lead pass for Bruce Cowick off his stick to the Flyer bench directly down below us.
Don't forget the Philadelphia Wings of the new Indoor Lacrosse League open their home schedule Sunday, May 19th at the Spectrum against former Montreal Canadian John Ferguson's Montreal Quebecois. The Wings office at the Marriott open because of demand till tomorrow night at 9 and all day Sunday.
Off the face-off, Boston controls. Dallas Smith on the left wing across the Flyer line, going deep into the corner. Looking to center, takes it behind the net. Out to Hodge, it gets by him. Cowick tied up by Dallas Smith. Esposito checked by Terry Crisp behind the Flyer net. Watson moves in, tied up from face-off in the Flyer zone.
I want to make that note that will be the Wings office open all day tomorrow until 9 and all day Saturday, not Sunday. Big point was made after Tuesday's game about the Flyers getting the better of it in numbers on the face-offs, and Esposito having a minus, losing 28 of 43. And he said they'd work on that, and it's something you can't really work on in practice in the 8-day layoff. And it'll be very interesting now to see the face-offs, and perhaps if you have a pencil and paper home along with us, you'll keep track of who controls the number and how many.
This time it's to the left of Perron, Esposito against Clark. These two lines were matched up early in the game on Tuesday night, but late in the game they were not. Fred Sherrill used the second line. Now here's Schultz on a breakaway. Shot is caught from behind by Dallas Smith. His stick blade right in front. Muffled the shot by Schultz, and here comes Vadnais out the right side. Lead pass to Hodge. Hodge just dumps it to center ice, broken up by Jimmy Watson. Picked up by Bobby Clark. Clark return pass deep in the Boston corner on the left wing. Goes Dave Schultz for it. He's tied up off the play by Dallas Smith. Flyers working for a face-off and get it to the right of Gilles Gilbert. Now Schultz and Dallas Smith appear as though they want to go at it.
And all we've had so far is a couple of minor conflicts. Now Van Imp and Hodge out of the outer edge of the circle. Van Imp wants to lean in, and Hodge keeps pushing him off. And every time Ed Van Imp wants to get a closer look, Ken Hodge says no. Esposito and Clark now has a hold of Dallas Smith, and Schultz is being held off by John D'Amico, and he's jawing away at Dallas Smith and finally breaks off. Don, I don't know if you concur, but on Schultz's play, Smith had enough of an angle where you might assume he'd get a piece of a shot. Perhaps Dave, with the strength, might have, on a second guess, better tried to get that shoulder in there and go right in on Gilbert, maybe take it in at the goalpost.
Well, maybe another year's experience will see Dave Schultz taking that same play and playing it that way. And this is, of course, what you learn in game experience. Face off to the right of Gilbert. Clark against Esposito. Draw control by the Flyers, but they get a quick whistle. Someone violated that face-off circle. We'll try it once more. Scoreless first period. 7 minutes, 3 seconds gone. Face-off in the Boston zone. Flyers have had a couple of scoring opportunities, but haven't been able to capitalize. Clark back to Joe Watson. The shot is wide to the glove side of Gilbert. Centering pass. Schultz into flat, closing. Loose puck in front, but it's picked off by Ken Hodge. Puts it to the backboard. Cashman goes down, but Vadnais moves it up to Esposito. He's bumped off the puck, kept in by Clark. Clark takes the drive, knocked down by Cashman in front of Gilbert. Vadnais on the open left wing, picked up by Joe Watson at the Flyer line. Here comes Flood on the right wing, up to Clark. Clark across the line. Clark takes a swipe at it and takes an elbow in the mouth from Ken Hodge. And now Cashman takes an elbow swing at Schultz, and he's going to be going off. It's going to be Hodge for elbowing with 12:17 left in the first period. There's no score.
Wayne Cashman picks up his 13th and 14 penalty minutes, and he picks it up for elbowing. And it's the second penalty of the game, and it comes at 7:43, and the Flyers have a power play once again.
This time Fred Sherrill goes with McLeish, Lonsbury, Dornhofer, Bladen, and Barber. Pep Gwendolyn goes with Shepard and Marcotte again as his penalty killers. Orr and Sims at defense for Boston. Boston controls the draw. Sims drives inside the line, knocked down by Barber across to Bladen on the right side. Here's Dornhofer across the line. Sims leaps, takes him down. Play continues. McLeish controls. Across in front, but it's blocked off by Gilbert as Lonsbury is cutting it off the left wing. Shepard off his back end. knocked down by Orr, who had his stick above the shoulder, and it's called by referee Art Skove.
Skove trailing the play, and again, you connect the puck with the stick above the shoulders. If you're on the offense, it's stopped if you gain control of the puck, and if you're on the offense there, it would come down in the Flyers zone. Defensive penalty right at the circle.
Face-off controlled in the Boston zone by the Flyers. Bladen puts it in the right wing corner for Dornhofer, trying to fend off Sims with the one hand and control the puck with the other. McLeish out to Barber, left point. Barber back around the boards to McLeish as Dornhofer jousts with Sims in front. Loose puck, tapped away by Gilbert, kept in by Barber, closing the shot, pad save by Gilbert, and cleared, not out. Kept in? No, it's a delayed offside, finally called by Matt Pavlich. Apparently just did clear the line enough to force the Flyers on an offside call.
Yeah, we might point out that the puck does not have to be on the ice to cross the line, rather an obvious thing, but just to clarify for some non-hockey viewers, even if it breaks the plane of the line, as it did that time when Barber, with his hand in the air, knocked it down, if it crosses the plane, it is out of the zone. Flyers got the good drive then by Barber, as they did a good job in keeping the Bruins from clearing the puck. 1:12 left on the penalty to Cashman. 11:29 remaining in the scoreless first period. The Flyers with the power play.
Clark with Nole on the right wing, fled on his off wing, the left wing. Clark drops it back to Jimmy Watson at center ice. He's on the left wing. Fires to the Bruins right wing corner. Marcotte and Nole go for it. They tie each other up. Clark gets it back to Dupont, right point. Glove save. Gilbert bounces high in the air. Clark behind the net tries to throw it in front. Stolen away by Greg Shepard, and here come the Bruins. Ahead for Marcotte. Dropped it back right on the stick of Bobby Clark. Clark trying to go right of Orr. The drive, glove save. Gilbert, this time he holds on, forcing the face-off again in the Boston zone, as Cashman still has 44 seconds to go on his penalty.
Now that was the good play by Clark. Obviously, he's not going to have the speed to move past Orr, so you try, as he did then, to angle and maneuver Orr, set him up as a screen against Gilbert, and then take the slap shot. And Gilbert covered it about hip high to the long side. We've got 44 seconds remaining on the penalty to Cashman. 11:01 remaining in a scoreless first period. Both penalties against the Bruins. The Flyers have had two power play. The first one fizzled a bit. This one has had several good opportunities in on the Boston goaltender.
Both penalties called by referee Art Skove have been Boston penalties. Savard for tripping at 4:06. Cashman for elbowing at 7:43. Face off to the left of Gilbert in the Boston end. Clark against Esposito. On the face-off, drawn to Flett. Clark goes up to the boys to try and pick it up. He battles Esposito for it. He's tied up. Dupont gets it. His shot knocked down by the stick hand of Gilbert. Gilbert's been tested. McLeish deep in the left wing corner, back to the left point. Jimmy Watson's drive almost tipped wide. It goes wide, but almost tipped the other direction by Clark's skate. Flett checked by Dallas Smith behind the Boston net. Clark digs it loose, but Esposito muscles him off the puck. Flett breaks up Dallas Smith, and now it's Dupont to the near side for Jimmy Watson. 12 seconds left on the penalty to Cashman. Dupont right through center ice, across the line. Puts it right on the stick of Vadnais, and it's cleared to the Flyer line as Cashman is set to come out. Jimmy Watson up the left lane. Cuts inside. Can't get a shot away. Taps it to the right wing boards in the Boston end, and here comes Cashman. Cashman ahead for Shepard. Shepard drives from the line. It's watched the Flyer net. Vadnais keeps the puck in the Flyer zone. Now it's McLeish moving it ahead for Selesky. Right on the stick of Ken Hodge at center. He in turn puts it on the stick of Van Imp. Van Imp back to Hodge. Now it's Esposito. Offside is the call against Boston.
Espo was onside when Hodge originated the play with the skates at the blue line, and then the pass came in the air, and Espo correctly knocked it down with a glove, but in doing so, he carried both feet into the skates into the offensive zone, and that's the offside. We want to point out tonight, for those of you interested, the Flyers will not be arriving at Philadelphia's International Airport main terminal. They are scheduled to arrive at a service area just south of the airport's overseas terminal. It's on Island Avenue, about 12:45 a.m.
Face off at center ice, controlled by the Flyers now in their own zone. Van Imp on the far side up to Selesky. Loose puck as Kindrachuk battles for it. Picked up by Kindrachuk. Looking to center, right across in front of Gilbert. And now picked up by Bobby Schmatz. Schmatz upends Bruce Cowick as the puck goes behind the Flyer net. Kindrachuk off the boards, ahead for Cowick, too far for him to reach. And it's all the way back to the Boston zone. Richie LeDuc seeing his first final series action. He is dressed tonight. He was dressed on Tuesday night but did not play. Puck loose at center ice, tapped by Busick. Back to the Flyers backboard. Joe Watson there. Watson of Van Iff up the right wing for Selesky. Gets by him all the way back to center ice. Sims at his own line to the near side for Bobby Orr. He has trouble controlling. Back behind the net to Sims. They're going to try the left side as Busick breaks. Busick wing to wing for Schmatz. Schmatz back to Busick. He's tied up by the back checking of Selesky. Kindrachuk just taps it to center ice. Now we got a 2-on-1. Selesky with Coward breaking. The drive is wide by Selesky. Watson can't keep the puck in the zone. Is back at the Flyer line. Kindrachuk up to Selesky, but offside pass is the call against the Flyers. Face-off coming up.
8:33 remaining first period. No score in the game. Savard, Marcotte, and O'Reilly against Crisp, Schultz, and Billy Barber.
On the face-off, Marcotte winds a backhand around the Flyer boards. DuPont has it as O'Reilly goes in after him. DuPont drops it off for Bladen. Bladen crosses to Schultz on the near side. Banks one off the boards for Crisp. Kept in the zone by Vadnais. Schultz will try it again. O'Reilly taken down. And the Boston fans now are crying for a penalty against Dave Schultz. Now it's DuPont that gets by Savard. Drives from outside the line. Routine high glove save by Gilles Gilbert. Puck loose behind the Boston net. Dallas Smith. Slowed down by Barber. Now gets it up to Marcotte on the left wing. He's broken up by Bladen. O'Reilly slowed down by Crisp. Broken up by Crisp. Dallas Smith broken up, and Boston has to regroup in their own zone. Good forechecking by the Flyers thus far tonight. And we've got a penalty coming up to Tom Bladen. I think it's going to be interference. And Savard chops DuPont down. And now O'Reilly and Dave Schultz.
Here we go. They paired off, and now they're grappled. And they've got one another tied up in their butting heads. And they're trying. Oh! Now they got the hands free. Now they got him free. And I think Schultz got a little of the better of it there. And now O'Reilly turns him over to get on top. But you knew that was going to come. And we had an initial penalty call against Tom Bladen for taking down Marcotte, I believe, for interference. And then DuPont was dumped. And then Schultz and O'Reilly went at it. So Art Skov is going to have to come up with some multiple penalties. And we've got Art Skov looking over at on Gilles Gilbert, who left the penalty goal crease area. And in the game in New York, that cost Bernie Parent too.
Was on a delayed penalty call to Tom Bladen, so he was headed for the bench for that sixth skater, so it's perfectly
good
legal.
Correction. And with 7:39 remaining in a scoreless first period, we'll pause for this.
The Bruins have a two-man edge for the next 2 minutes of play. Bobby Clark discussing the penalties right down below us with Coach Fred Shero.
Fred Shero is very upset, and he's got his players over here. And all of this action is going to give now, I think, Nollet is going to, of course, serve the 2 minutes for Schultz because that penalty will expire and he can come out and end the shorthanded situation, but he will not allow Schultz to come out, of course, for 7. So for O'Reilly in the series, that gives him 18 penalty minutes. And for Schultz, with that additional 7, it gives him 108, which of course adds to his all-time record. And for Tommy Bladen, it gives him 8.
Every time Schultz goes to the box, it's a new playoff record.
This is a dreadful situation, Don. A full 2-minute disadvantage. And if they manage to pump one in while two of the players are in, it will just bring one out. So the Bruins really have an opportunity here to do a lot of damage, and the Flyers are going to have to hang tough.
Okay, back to the action. Face-off controlled by Boston. Vadnais flips it to the Flyers' right wing corner. Back on it, Jimmy Watson. He clears the length of the ice against the forechecking of Ken Hodge. Vadnais behind the Boston net. Flyers 2-man short now for the next minute 45. The Bruins, the second team in the National Hockey League in most power play goals during regular season play. Hodge across to Vadnais at the left point, closing. Vadnais to Busick. Busick out to Esposito, cleared out of the slot by Jimmy Watson. Clark can't clear, gets control of the puck. Orr now gets it away from Clark. Vadnais shot is wide. Busick back to Orr at the right point. Orr looking to Busick. Bouncing puck in the slot. And a home run by Clark as he whacked that puck into the seats, over the wall.
A letter high pitch there, and he whacked it into the third row.
Now that stick did not appear to be above the shoulder, yet they bring it back in. And of course the reason for this is that it went out of play.
Well, they're down to 113 on the two-man disadvantage. Schultz 2 and 5, and Bladen 2. O'Reilly for 5, so the Flyers skating 3 men, 3 skaters to 5 against the leagues and the leagues. Not only this year, but last 5 or 6 years. Most potent power play.
Only the Rangers led the Bruins during regular season play. But in the series thus far against the Flyers on Tuesday night, they had 5 advantages scored on one of them. So 1 out of 5. Pretty good average. Vadnais, left point. The drive, short-circuited by Clark. Van Eff pops it from behind the net to the left wing corner, and it's cleared by Jimmy Watson the length of the ice. We're down to 1 minute straight up left on the two-man advantage. Orr winds up, and he's flying up to center ice. Orr across the red line. Hodge on the right wing. Looking to shoot. Goes behind the net. Now drops it back to the left point. Vadnais, the shot. Kick save. Knocked down by Clark. Clark off the backhander is held by Esposito. Can't clear the zone. Hodge to Orr. Orr into Busick, but it's blocked by Jimmy Watson. Orr gets it back again. Orr at the right point. Fakes the shot. Now drive. Cleared out of the slot by Jimmy Watson. Drive again is kicked out. This time by Van Eff. 23 seconds left on the penalty. Orr is wide open. Intercepted by Clark. Clark pulls it behind Orr and ices the puck. A great play right there by Bobby Clark.
Just beautiful hockey. A great power play and a great power play defense.
Now it's Vadnais across the Flyer line, drops it off for Esposito, puts it behind the Flyer net. Perrant puts it back in that far corner. Joe Watson trying to get it by Vadnais. Look out, Esposito's back at it, score! Wayne Cashman as the Flyers just came back on the ice after serving 2 2-minute minors, and the momentum was going, and Cashman gets the goal.
Well, that's a shame because the Flyers appeared to have it killed in a brilliant series, and they had control behind the net, and it couldn't hang on. As finally it was kicked away, and Espo shot. Perrant to save, but Cashman in proper position off to his left had an easy road to hoe to poke it home. And for Wayne Cashman, his 5th playoff goal, and it should come from Esposito at 14:24, just 5 seconds after the penalties expired. So it's a shame, Don, in all intents and purposes, power play, but it won't go in the book officially.
Cashman's 5th series goal overall.
And his 2nd of the Flyers.
Right. Esposito and Hodge will get assists. Or is it Vadnais? We'll have to pick it up. Puck loose at center. McLeish, a backhand, but offside is called against the Flyers. Jane, the official on the Boston goal.
Well, Cashman from Esposito and Vadnais is what I heard. And again, the Flyers had killed it for all intents and purposes. Had control, but lost the puck behind the net, and out it went in front for the save and then the rebound score.
So often we've mentioned that even though, as in this case, 3 seconds after the official power play had been served, momentum had been built up and alignment had been built up by Boston, and they capitalized. Now it's Dallas Smith out to center ice. Off the stick of Dave Forbes, seeing his first shift action tonight, but offside is called against Boston.
I would think if you're a player that's got to nettle you. 2 men short for a full 2 minutes against the Bruins. You survive, and then have it happen to you after you apparently had gotten out of the hot spot. 5:05 remaining first period, and it's 1-0 Bruins. Not a power play goal, but in all essence really one, because the 2 Flyers coming off the bench not yet fully involved in the play.
Shepard against Kindrachuk at center ice. Boston controls the puck. It's Al Sims from the red line around the Flyer boards. Perrant leaves it behind his net for Joe Watson. Watson winds around to Barber in the left wing. Barber ahead to Kindrachuk with Selesky breaking, but it's stopped at the line by Al Sims. Controlled now by Schmatz up to Orr. Spins away from DuPont. Now it's across to Al Sims. Sims from the Boston side of the red line winds it around the Flyer boards, but offside pass is called against Boston.
Schwartz, feeling they may dump it in, started to break. Then as he saw Sims going to carry it a little bit more, he tried to angle right along the line and keep one skate on the blue line and keep himself onside, but just failed to do so.
Bruins lead 1-0. Cashman from Esposito and Vadnais. Flyers control the puck. It's Watson through center. Off the skate of Forbes. Kindrachuk going for it, or gets inside of Kindrachuk, takes it behind his own net. Now he gets it to Sims in the far corner. Up the left wing for Dave Forbes. Forbes crosses to Orr on the near side. Orr cuts to the far side. Back passes to Sims as they crisscross. Kindrachuk slows down him. Forbes spins away from the much bigger Selesky. They battle for the puck. Kindrachuk to Barber breaking. He's upended by Bobby Schmatz. Loose puck picked up by Schmatz and takes it behind the Boston net. Schmatz gets around both Selesky and Kindrachuk. He's flying across the Flyer line. Shot knocked down by Perron and cleared out of the Flyer zone by Van Imp. Or back in the Boston zone with the puck. Cross to Al Sims on the left wing through center ice. The rookie defenseman drops it off for Forbes. He's bumped by Clark. But Forbes gets the puck deep in the Flyer zone, where Joe Watson now controls it. Just a little over 3.5 minutes left in first period play. Bobby Orr shadowed by Clark. Orr gets it to Dallas Smith. Smith cuts wide on Jimmy Watson, but Bobby Clark breaks up the play. Clark inside of Schmatz to Cowick, deflected by Orr to the glass behind Gilbert, and Dallas Smith controls. Up the left wing for Dave Forbes with Schmatz across the line. A bit too quick. He'll have to come back out. Shepard back to Dallas Smith, but Cashman just coming on controls the puck for Boston. Cashman to Hodge, back to Cashman. Cashman's shot is wide. Rebound to Cowick on the left wing. Cowick's at center ice. Bumped by Shepard, but gets an easy shot in on Gilbert, who makes an equally easy save. Cowick spun out the puck by Orr. Orr across the Flyer line. Cuts inside McLeish, broken up, and Van Imp taps it back to the Boston line. Cowick, the lone forechecker on Dallas Smith in the Boston zone. Smith gets it out to Orr on the left side, drops it off for Cashman. Cashman tries to cut in, but broken up by the Flyers defense, kept in by Dallas Smith. Gets his shot away. Tip in attempt by Hodge, goes over the net, and Perron finally turns the corner on the far post to tie up that loose puck.
Hey, the greatest show on earth coming to the Spectrum. That can only mean the fabulous Ringling Brothers, Barnum and Bailey, starting May 29th for 3 weeks through June 16th for 36 great performances. 24 fantastic acts never before seen in America, including Mishu, the world's smallest man at 33 inches. $350, $450, $550, and $650. Tickets now on sale at the Spectrum or Ticketron.
Face off to the right of Perron in the Flyer zone. Dave Schultz still in the penalty box serving. A minor and a major. 2 for elbowing, 5 for fighting. McLeish off the face-off. Tripped up by Esposito, but the play had been whistled down.
If you'd like some further information about the circus, you can call them at their number DE40500.
Still the greatest show on earth. Next to Flyers hockey. Face off to the right of Perron as Esposito draws with McLeish. Boston controls. It's Vadnais. Vadnais into a screen. Look out in front of Perron. Loop puck for Esposito, and they let the big settlement loose, and Perron had no chance.
That time, Don, if you'll notice, when the puck came to the point, the 3 Flyer linemen were right there. McLeish, Lonsbury, and Dornhofer, and when the puck was dumped in, the Flyers had 3 men in there against Esposito, against Cashman, and the one defenseman was being held off, and then Espo dug it out, and with Perron down, he went to the backhander and lifted it in. 2 easy goals, and they come in the latter stages of the first period, and the Bruins up 2-0, 17-42.
Loose puck goes into the Boston zone as Cashman swings it around to the near side for Vadnais. Return pass, Cashman breaking out. Cashman tied up by McLeish. Now it's Dallas Smith to the near side for Vadnais. Now it's Hodge at center. Back to Dallas Smith. Dallas Smith to Hodge breaking on the right wing. He's going to get a drive away. Look out as that puck skipped over a Flyer's stick, up over everything. And there's a Stanley Cup souvenir in the corner across the way.
For Espo, his 8th playoff goal from Hodge and Vadnais at 17:42. So the 2 Bruin goals come 3 minutes and 16 seconds apart. And rather innocuous goals too, Don. Not out of brilliant plays, but digging out the puck right in front and having Perron down and going into on the backhander high end of the net.
Loose puck at center ice, fired to the Flyer backboard by Al Sims. Controlled behind the net by DuPont. Watson pulls it away from the forechecking of Savard. Watson behind his own net. Feeds off to DuPont. He can't control it. O'Reilly trying to climb inside DuPont. Now it's out to the point, kept in by Orr, and cleared the length of the ice by Christ. This is going to be icing against the Flyers.
1:21 remaining in the first period, and it was an even period up until the Flyers were 2 men down with Bladen and Schultz off. They killed that penalty beautifully, the 2-man shortage. Just 5 seconds later, after the men had come on but not in the play, Cashman scored, and then again as the whole 3 Flyer linemen committed themselves to the blue line, that left Cashman, Hodge, and Esposito against the 2 Flyer defensemen. Hodge held off one, and Van Imp just couldn't handle Cashman and Esposito.
Face off to the left of Perron. Clark against Savard. Controlled by the Flyers. It's DuPont behind his own net. DuPont tries the right. So look out in front. Shot by Savard as he stole it right off of the stick of DuPont as he tried to move the puck out of the zone. Now it's Clark through center ice. Clark across the line. Cuts deep in the left wing corner. His centering pass is stolen and controlled by Orr. Orr spins away from Cowart. 1 minute left in the period as the puck comes to center ice. Offside Flyers as Chris whacked the puck back in again. And the faceoff will be in center ice on the Flyers' left wing boards.
Flyers got a little shaky there defensively, and they have since the second goal, and that's got to get your dander down just a bit. But Clark then tried to lift them again with that rush up ice.
Face-off controlled by Terry Cripps. Bounces one in on Gilbert. Routine save. It's Orr behind the Boston net. Orr starts out, feeds on the left to Al Sims. He shovels a pass ahead from Marcotte to Savard. He's spun off the puck by DuPont. Watson has it stolen as O'Reilly is spun off the puck, but now controlled by Savard. Savard uses Sims as a screen, puts it right on the stick of Bobby Clark. Up to Crisp, he's tied up, and Marcotte has it. And he sends it the length of the ice. It's going to be icing against Boston as Joe Watson catches up to it. Face-off will be in the Boston end as we're down to 19 seconds left in first period play.
And now Schultz finishes his time in the box, and it comes with just 19 seconds remaining in the period. Actually, since he had to wait for the stoppage of play, he actually served 7 minutes and 10 seconds of penalty time. You know, Don, that's something they never put in the penalty book. You know, if he, say, couldn't come out for another 2 minutes, he'd actually be in for 9, but he'd only be credited for 7.
Very true, and it would be an interesting statistic because really his availability is directly dependent on when he's allowed out of the box, and according to rules, it's at the next stoppage in play. Face-off to the left of Gilbert, controlled by Boston. Bruins have been winning most of the face-offs. Lonsbury steals behind the net, tries to throw it out front, but puts it right on the stick of Orr. Down to 10 seconds. Orr is in no hurry. Lonsbury moves in to try and dig it loose, and we've had a stoppage of play as Art Skov moves in. Face-off will be to the right of Gilbert.
And Orr was drawing it just a bit with Skov, perhaps a minor complaint about a penalty call possibility.
By and large, Art Skov has handled the game very professionally. Flyers now go with Clark. McLeish moving to the right wing. Lonsbury on the left wing with Jimmy Watson and Tom Bladen. Esposito along with Shepard and Cashman. Puck kept in by Bladen. A backhander bounces right in front of Gilbert. Controls the puck until the buzzer. So at the end of the first period of play, the score is Boston 2, Flyers nothing.
Flyers go Schultz and Flat, centered by Clark with Jimmy Watson and Van Imp. Gilbert just getting ready to our right, getting his gloves on. Perron all set to our left. There were 5 penalties in the 6 penalties, 3 aside. No official power play goals, but the Bruins scored while the Flyers were 2 men down and had not yet gotten their men back in play. Puck is dropped. Schultz is bumped by Hodge, and the 2 of them go in the corner of the penalty box area on the far side with Clark right in there as well. And play is called after 7 seconds. Hodge, I constantly look at him, and I can only think, not in size but in facial feature, Russ Tamblyn, the former MGM young dancing star from West Side Story and other pictures.
Great facial similarity, but that's where it ends.
Hodge would make 3 of Tamblin's. Jimmy Watson along the near side, backhands one wide of Gilbert, sets it up with a stick for Orr. Orr now waits for Esposito to come by, drops back to Orr. As Espo slowed down by Clark, Orr casually brings it to his own line. Now to the near point for Sims. He can't control, but Cashman digs out the loose puck, fires it down behind Perron. Van Imp, forecheck by Esposito, has trouble getting rid of it, and the Bruins get a face-off to the left of Perron. After 32 seconds of scoreless play in the second period, the Bruins leading 2-0.
And on for the Flyers, Joe Watson and Moose DuPont to replace Van Imp and Jimmy Watson. Van Imp started out the left side and made his turn a bit too late, as Esposito had already got a bead on him and was able to tie up play with a face-off to the left of Bernie Perron.
Key face-offs. Esposito outgunned in the first game, and he'll remember that. Drops on the far boards. Hodge doesn't see it. Clark digs it out. Surrounded by 4 Bruins. Challenged by Orr mildly and flips the center ice where Esposito has it. Back in off Hodge's stick. Controlled by Schultz. Winds it back to Clark. Spun around by Hodge. And again Orr at center ice to Esposito. And again it goes in the Flyer zone. Perron shields it off as Joe Watson trying to wind it around to Schultz. And big check against Joe Watson by Hodge, and the Bruins forechecking well and get a face-off again to the left of Perron. That time as Esposito, Hodge, DuPont, and Schultz are in the foursome. 57 seconds gone in the second period.
Flyers starting a little slower than they ended up in the first period, as the Bruins are starting to forecheck a little stronger.
Espo loses the draw to DuPont, coming up along the near side, passes off Clark's stick. Schultz controls at center as Orr couldn't handle it. Over the line on the left wing. Pass back, deflected to Flett at the point. With a shot, it's score! Bobby Clark on the tip in front. It goes through Gilbert's legs for a goal. A case of tasty cake for Clark at 18:52 on the clock. 1:08 the score. And Bill Flett finally gets involved, and it's 2-1 Bruins.
It appeared as though Clark did tip that in. The direction didn't change much, but enough to beat Gilbert, as Flett got a good drive on goal. Clark with his stick up, tipped it by Gilbert's stick side into the far right corner, and we've got a 2-1 hockey game.
Now over the line, out there is Schwartz with a backhander. Perron makes the glove save and hangs on as Shepard quickly came in on the right wing looking for rebound. Don, the official.
The official, Clark, from Flett and Schultz. That's what the boos were for here at the Garden. Time of the goal at 1:08, and the pattern of this game is taking on much the same pattern as Tuesday night.
Shepard, Busick out with Schwartz. McLeish, Dornhofer, Lonsbury, Bladen, and DuPont back to the point. Dallas Smith can't control, and Lonsbury breaks out with McLeish. Fires from outside the blue line, deflected to the near side. Dornhofer runs into Smith, puck behind the net. Scrambles for it, and Smith comes out along the far side of the net. Up along the right wing at center ice. Tries to get past McLeish. The puck is on his skate. Digs it out and fires into the Flyers' defensive right wing corner. Behind the net. Bladen quickly up along the near side, and Dornhofer shoots to center, deflected away by Vadnais, and still in the zone is Busick, but finally it's brought out by McLeish. Rags his way past Vadnais, bounces one in on Gilbert, who sticks it to the near side for Busick, who drops it as Shepard comes up along the near wing with Dallas Smith. Busick on the far wing looking for the Karen pass. Tipped away by DuPont, rolls to McLeish, who carries it behind the Flyer net. Shepard shadowing in front. Up to Bladen. Bladen is spun around and dumped by Busick, but the puck slides to center ice. Good hip check by the Chief. DuPont in there, and both Bruin lines out so far have done a good job of forechecking and keeping the Flyers bottle in, except for that one drive by Flett, tipped home by Clark. DuPont in the zone, up to Lonsbury. Has trouble getting it out, as this time Shepard does the forechecking damage. DuPont again flips it past Smith and Dornhofer. Rolls the length of the ice, but D'Amico waves off the icing as Vadnais touches up behind the net, and it rolls clear to the near side. Busick with it with Kindrachuk. Kindrachuk deflects back to Lonsbury to the point to Van Imp with a drive, and it hits the pad of Vadnais. They clear up the ice. The Bruins had a 2-on-1 with just Jimmy Watson back. Puck picked off by the Flyers, lost back to Busick. Over the line, trying to get a pass away, taken away by Kindrachuk. Holds as Dallas Smith drops back, and up ice comes Kindrachuk with Zaleski. 4 Bruins at the line. Kindrachuk spun around and taken down. Vadnais out with a puck. Can't get past Barber. And as Zaleski takes a poke at it, it's cleared to center. Watson, Jimmy has to wait for Kindrachuk to come out of the zone. into the near corner. Selesky with a rebound, right on! And Gilbert, the good skate save, as that was a carom pass and shot by Jimmy Watson to Selesky. Up ice now comes Shepard. Fires from the blue line, right on. High grab by Perrant, but offside. And with 16:34 remaining in the second period, it's 2-1 Boston.
Flyers will go with Chris between Cowick and Nole. The Andre Savard line on for Boston.
Out there with O'Reilly and Marcotte. Sims and Orr defense. Sims quickly behind his own net. Good way to break into the major leagues with Orr on your right. Savard now with the puck. Breaks past Crisp and brings the puck to center ice. Comes to the Flyer line against Jimmy Watson. Over the line. Goes into the right wing corner. Looks to center. Pass blocked. Guarded by Cowick as he knocked it down and tried to control it. Rolled in on Perrant. Cowick up to Crisp on the far wing. He can't get it out. O'Reilly keeps it into Savard in the corner. Marcotte breaks for the net. Tying him up is Jimmy Watson, as out with the puck along the near side as Crisp. Up to Nole. Nole, rink-wide pass. Knocked down by Cowick. Picked up at center ice. Fires it into the zone, but Nole, the gambling that Cowick would see him breaking and get it in quicker, did not, and we have an offside against Philadelphia.
An interesting sidelight. Terry O'Reilly and Bruce Cowick locked horns on that last rush, and O'Reilly spun around and just glared at Cowick. That could be an interesting pair-up, Gene. Cowick carries a pretty heavy reputation out of the American Hockey League, as did O'Reilly a few seasons ago.
Well, I'm going to go way back and look-alikes, and if I had a blue peak cap on, and Cowick, he might look a little bit like Snub Pollard, the old Keystone Cop days, but he's a tougher. There's Bobby Orr with Sims working it back and forth. Sims to center over the red line, into the near corner. Karam's behind Perrant, sets it up quickly, and beating Jimmy Watson with Savard. It's dug out into the corner, back to the point to Orr. Flaps one on the net, blocked by Crisp, but Orr's back quickly to cover as two men back. Now Crisp over the line, trying to play through to Barber. Takes the Karam behind the net. Looks to center, and he passes it behind Cowick, who had skated through the slot. Now up ice comes Orr, and as he picks it up at center ice, it's offside, with Marcotte feeding that puck from his own side of the blue line, the Bruins line across center ice. We've played 4:37 into the second period, 2-1 Boston.
Don Marcotte arguing with linesman John D'Amico. Marcotte must have jolted at least one of Bruce Cowick's molars loose with a wicked elbow as the two of them crossed the line. And the apparently argument discussion is the offside pass where it all started.
All right, Bobby Clark out with Flett and Schultz. Sims still out with Orr, and still Savard, Marcotte, and O'Reilly. Flyers go Bladen. DuPont, as it's in the Boston zone. Savard in that far corner drops a pass for Sims, and Sims gives it away in the near corner. Marcotte tries to slash it out. DuPont will keep it in. Shoves it on the net. Stopped by Orr. Blocked with a skate. Played up on the right wing for O'Reilly at center. Through to Savard. Over the line. Sims breaking for the net. Bladen ties up Savard. Tries to get it back to the point and does, but Orr had not penetrated yet, and the puck comes to center ice. Now Orr to Marcotte along the left side at the Flyer line. Rolls it into Perrant. Up to Bladen on the near side. Has trouble with it. Lost to Orr, to O'Reilly. They scramble in front. There's Marcotte. He goes to shoot. They scramble again. And a shot taken by the Savard, and it's blocked by the Flyers, and out they come. Over the line comes Clark, tied up by Orr. Hard at the point. Clark for Flett. He'll go on the forehand drive, and Orr blocks it as he read that play all the way, and Orr appears a bit hurt, but he's up. And now over the line comes DuPont, offside, as Flett had failed, as had Schultz to clear out of the zone.
I think Flett, Orr took the full brunt of that slap shot, and he's shaken up. With 14:23 left in the second period, the score is 2-1 Bruins. On that play again, Flett, his full force, the drive went right into Orr's knee, Gene, so it'll be interesting to watch and see when Orr comes back and how well he plays.
Vadnais over the line. Shot blocked and trickles wide of Perrant to the near corner. Van Impe looking for Dornhofer. Two men along the near side, along with Cashman, but even the two men along with Smith couldn't keep it in, and the Flyers dump it back into the Boston zone. Vadnais tries to get by. McLeish does to slow down enough as he comes back through into the zone. Or Hodge looked well offside, and I think they even were booing that play here. Pass up to Lunsbury. Off his stick, rolled by Vadnais behind the net. In there is Hodge with Jimmy Watson, and they jam it up and play is called. Is that the impression you got, Don, on that last one?
Very, very definitely he was offside, and hey, the linesmen make mistakes occasionally too. They are human. And that one was a glaring one. I almost get the impression, Gene, the Flyers are playing old-style fundamental hockey, dump it in and hope they can force a mistake in the attack zone. They are not skating in 3 forward waves as they normally would during regular season play.
Well, I notice now we've got another change as Cowick now is starting to take a little regular shift on the right wing with Schultz on the left side along with Bobby Clark against Esposito, Cashman, Hodge, Vadnais, and Dallas Smith. Vadnais with Smith, it usually is, well, let's pick this up now. As usually we have Espo thrown out of the face-off circle, and Hodge will take it with Clark. That Pavlich wants it just right. 13:46 remaining second period. 2-1 Boston. Puck kicked, rolling out of feet. Goes to Cashman, shot over the top of Perrant's shoulder, up along the ledge, and clears past Dallas Smith into his own zone. Back to Vadnais. Vadnais up, through off the skate, but it deflects right to Hodge. With Cashman on his right, over the line, he winds up, shot way up into the end seats, off Jimmy Watson's stick, and the face-off about 10 feet up above the face-off circle to the left of Perrant in Philadelphia's zone.
Flyers are taking no unnecessary chances on that Bruins rush. There were 3 men back, the 2 defensemen plus one of the forwards. It was, I believe, Cowick on the right wing who got back in a hurry. Flyers are only sending 1 man deep, hoping that they can slow the play down enough and perhaps get a break. Then the wings are scooting into the attack zone when the break occurs.
Again, it's Clark and Espo. Rolls at a feet, cleared into Vadnais, dumps it right through the goal mouth. And Perrant just saw it at the last second on the screen. Now it's Dallas Smith dumping it in, trying to control his blade, and he's knocked down by Hodge. He centers right out in front. Esposito, a shot. Hit high on Perrant's shoulder. Espo looks to throw it behind the net. Cashman is Hodge in front. Oh, and a great save by Perrant, as that line, much stronger than it was Tuesday night, are dominating in front of that net, at least on the last series. Flyers get this draw. DuPont looking to wind it around for Flett. Has trouble with it. Picks it up to Clark. Swept off his stick by Vadnais. Rolls the blade in the Philadelphia zone. Circles. Looks up ice. Carries it himself into the neutral zone over the red line. Flips it into the Boston zone. Goes in after it. Stumbles and falls as Dallas Smith digs it out and quickly leads a rush himself. Tries to get past Flett. Does. Can't get past Schultz, who steals it away. Comes to the Bruin line. Through to Flett. Wants to shoot. Tipped off his stick, and here comes Esposito. Cash and Hodge against 3 Flyers. Cashman on the left wing. Penetrates. Trying to play through to Hodge. Back to Esposito. A shot. It's tipped high. Knocked down in front of the net by Cashman. They scramble for it. Hodge. They poke again. Kick free by Clark. He's hooked it as he comes around the back of the net. Dumped on a great check by Hodge. Cashman in front to Esposito. That's loose. Now Schultz clears it away to center ice as Bobby Clark really was checked that time by Hodge. Over the line comes Flett. Shot. Gilbert the grab. And then Schultz comes through. Gilbert knocks him off balance and hangs on to the rebound. But I've never seen Bobby Clark hit harder than that, Don. And with 12:06 remaining in the second period, it's 2-1 Boston.
Dave Schultz, to a chorus of Boston Garden boos, comes to the Flyer bench. At both ends of the ice, the goaltender's getting a bit of rough going as Hodge jammed Perrant in the crease. So Schultz decided, well, we're going to do it at the other end. A wicked check on Clark by Ken Hodge, and we're back to live action.
Sims around looking for Schmaltz. Fails to get it out. Jimmy Watson is shot. Tipped high in the net by Kindrachuk to the near corner. Again, Sims fails to clear. Busick is in there. Gets it up on the far side. Away from Schmaltz. Stolen by Jimmy Watson inside the blue line behind the net to Orr. Clears it up quickly to Busick. Comes with Schmaltz and Shepard up the middle. Shepard to Schmaltz. He'll get the shot. Save Perrant. It's right at his feet, and he falls on the rebound in the crease to stop play.
The fans behind that net, Gene, thought the puck was in because the butt end of his stick kicked the twine, but Bernie Perrant coming up with a big save. It fell at his feet. He closed his glove hand on the puck against the pad to tie it up.
Remember the last time we had an opportunity to see Schmaltz take a shot like that? It was at Vancouver, and he scored late in the game against Bobby Taylor to deprive him of, at that time, a shutout.
Schmaltz has a tremendous velocity on his shot, but his accuracy sometimes leaves a bit to be desired. It was on goal that time, though.
Got a big shot for a little guy. Hockey's answer to Jim Wynn, the toy cannon. At the face-off circle, back to Orr from Busick. Great kick save by Perrant with the right leg, and it caroms out of the rink. And we'll try it all over again in the Philadelphia zone.
Orr in the first period had a pair of shots. The only one to outshoot him was Esposito with 3 single shots by Busick, Savard, Cashman, and Schmatz for their total of 10. DuPont had 3 shots for the Flyers, 2 for Crisp, and several Flyers with 1.
Ball straw. 11:35 remaining in the second period. 2-1 Boston. First period goals by Cashman and Esposito. Second period score by Clark. Shepard and Kindrachuk right in front. Shepard tries to grab it. Stolen away by Jimmy Watson, who comes to center ice. Busick steals it away, as the Bruins are doing a great job of forechecking and blocking the Flyers at the Philadelphia line. Now Van Imp to Zaleski. Hits Kindrachuk. Kept in again by Shepard. He fans and out breaks Billy Barber on Orr. But Orr takes it away in the corner. Loses it to Zaleski. They try to get a tie-up, but Orr kicks it up to Shepard at center ice. Too far for Busick. Jimmy Watson retreating and plays it along the near side down the ice, and they'll wave off icing John D'Amico. They thought Sims had a play, and Gilbert, when he saw him wave it off, pounded a stick on the ice in mild protest. Long near side, Sims shoots it down the ice. You'll get a derisive cheer now, as they are going to call this one for icing.
Well, I think they felt, in all due respect to the call, that Al Sims did have a play. He was going at half speed, and the puck just did miss his outstretched stick blade by only a couple of inches. On that particular play, it was a bounce pass off the board that eluded all Flyers and did go the length of the ice. The Flyers, incidentally, will not be arriving tonight at Philadelphia International's main terminal. We repeat, they're scheduled to arrive at a service area just south of the airport's overseas terminal on Island Avenue, and arrival time at about 12:45 a.m.
McLeish line against the Esposito line to the left of Gilbert. D'Amico drops the puck, rolls to Gilbert, sticks it behind for Sims. Espo pivots, so does Hodge, and now Joe Watson takes Hodge right off. Now it's Lonsbury at the point. Shot. Hits Lodge's skate. Goes behind the net. Now Dornhofer in that far corner. Can't get past Orr. Puck tipped, and Orr feeds it right in front to his own net, and then takes it out on a great play. Cover up. As he tried to shove it out, deflected off his own skate and that of McLeish in front of the net. Now Dornhofer steals it away from Orr in the corner. Takes him down. He slides on the puck, and play is called. And we're going to have it played right here in the zone next to Gilbert's left.
Right now, let's pause for station identification on the Flyers Hockey Network.
The television home of the Flyers, WTAF TV 29, Philadelphia.
Bobby Orr single-handedly broke up that Flyer rush and finally was tied up right in the corner by Gary Dornhofer, forcing the face-off in the Boston end to the left of Gilles Gilbert.
Espo gets that draw from McLeish to Dallas Smith, sets up behind the net. Tied up by Lonsbury, kicks it free, still behind the net, finally digs it out for Vadnais. Looking up for Espo, it slides under his stick, the length of the ice, but it's going in on Perrant. So the icing this time is waved off, and it mollifies them here as they feel they now have an even play. Now winding it around is Joe Watson to Dornhofer. Forecheck by Dallas Smith. Crossing it to the far side, Joe Watson challenged by Hodge up to Lonsbury. Lonsbury back to Blayton at center. Can't get past Esposito. It rolls to the Flyer line and tipped by Joe Watson back to the Boston end. Bruins are checking as well as I've seen them this year. Through Cashman from Dallas Smith. Pass looking for Hodge is deflected to Lonsbury. Lonsbury tied up. Rolls it off a skate, but it's still in the zone. Hits the skate. Doesn't come out. Smith keeps it in. It rolls to Joe Watson. Off the far boards and finally to center ice. Vadnais waits for Hodge to come out. Dumps it into Kenny. He circles in the neutral zone. Fires it in the near corner of Flyer zone. In there is Cashman chasing Dornhofer. And he's going to be tripped up. And we're going to have a play in front. It looks like Perrant is going to get an interference call at 10:49. And so with 9:11 left in the second period, it's 2-1 Boston.
So it's Bernie Perrant picking up his second minor of the series. This one for interfering on Wayne Cashman. And my guess, Gene, that Bernie probably said, hey, I want a piece of this action. So he came out of his crease, and he and Cashman collided, and Bernie got the better of it. Gary Dornhofer will serve the penalty to Perrant coming at 10:49 of the second period of play. Flyers trail Boston by a score of 2-1.
The Bruins forechecking isn't as it was in the first period Tuesday, where it was just speed and ferocity. But today tonight it's clever stick handling and deking and picking up your wingers and containing them and not allowing the Flyers really to send that rush up ice. All right, Hodge with Busick, Esposito, Vadnais, and Orr. Rolls to Van Imp. retreats behind the net, pokes it around to Barber. Barber has clear sailing, so Vadnais drops back, dumps at the center. Clark steals it away. He's dumped by Vadnais, comes out with the puck, still along the near side, tried to get it back to Van Impe, but Esposito stole it away. To Orr, back in his own zone. Espo on the right wing, breaks with Hodge on his inside, rolls it down behind Perron. Skips over a stick to Busick, behind the net in front, intended for Esposito, cleared out to Vadnais to Orr, save right in front, and Perron falls on it as it was hit by a stick, perhaps Esposito, and dropped right at Perron's feet between his skates. You can see it standing there like an apple at the bottom of the tree, and nobody could poke it home, and then finally Perron saw where it was and sat on it.
And that's exactly where the puck came to rest, where he sat on it after the save off the screen shot by Orr. Was tipped by Hodge. Perron spotted it and just pounced on it, sat on it to tie it up and tie up the play. May have dawned on me, Gene, this is the first power play opportunity of the game for Boston thus far.
All right, puck is dropped. Jimmy Watson in the corner, tries to wind it past Busick. Busick steals it away, has control in the left wing corner. Wants to throw it in front, stolen by Clark. And Clark comes out with Lonsbury. And he cannot break past Orr, just gingerly takes it away, turns at his own end and starts up ice. Orr over the line on the right wing, deep into the corner. Sets it back to Cashman at the right point. With a shot, blocked by Lonsbury along that far boards. Hayes dump. He can't dig it out. Center to Espo. Knocked off a stick to Jimmy Watson behind the net. Circles along that far boards and bounces it off a stick down the ice.
Correction second. How can we forget the double minor that the Flyers did kill off, and then the goal came 3 seconds later.
All right, we have 45 seconds remaining on the Perron penalty being served by Dornhofer. Or now as the Flyers have Lonsbury out there with Chris DuPont and Joe Watson. At center ice, Esposito into that far corner, rolls behind Perron. Crisp looking for Joe Watson's pass, blocked once. Joe behind the net, comes out the near side, should get it down the ice and does, as Vadnais failed to flag it down with his stick parallel to the ice about hip high. 20 seconds on the penalty. Orr up to Cashman on the right wing, coming to center ice, looks for Esposito, drops it back to Orr over that red line. Into Hodge on the right wing, penetrates, shot, Perron, easy save. And he clears it out himself and dangerously slow as he dropped it right at the feet of Vadnais. Puck down into the Boston end. In there is Flat. Fires on a bad angle, and Gilbert had to make the save as out comes Dornhofer at the end of the penalty. Crisp now tying up Vadnais. Flat dumps it on Gilbert. He steals it behind the net. Orr winds it quickly around to Hodge on the right wing. Comes up at center. Crosses to Vadnais. Looking for Cashman over the line. He'll penetrate at the top of the circle. Shot wide of the short side. Orr will try to keep it in that side. Crisp there first and slashes at the center away from Hodge. Orr at his own line. Crosses to Vadnais. Dumping it into the zone, and the Bruins do that as they want a line change now. Joe Watson right up the middle to Kindrachuk. Kindrachuk, as out comes Darryl Atterstrand for the first time over the line. To Flat at his skate, couldn't find it. Atterstrand knocks him down into the corner behind Gilbert. They still scramble for it. Barber comes out with it, tries to center, blocked by Marcotte. In there is O'Reilly, in there is Esposito with Flat, and finally the Flyers get a stoppage of play. With 6:23 remaining in the second period, it's 2-1 Boston.
Great forechecking by Bill Flett to tie up the play, along with help from Orest Kindrachuk and Bill Barber, and we're set to go with the action in the Boston zone.
Atterstrand around looking for O'Reilly. Forechecked by Billy Barber. Loses it to Kindrachuk. Takes it in the corner. Looks to center. Can't. Dallas Smith takes it away and out along the near side. O'Reilly on the far right. Trailed by Savard. There's O'Reilly over the line. His shot tipped by DuPont over the top of Perron's head to Zaleski in the near side. He tries to hit Kindrachuk. Rolls it into the Boston zone. Not far enough for icing. Dallas Smith winds it in that far corner to our right. Tied up by Barber. Broken out by Kindrachuk. He's checked by Riley. Has nowhere to go with it, and out comes Riley with the puck. O'Reilly with Savard up the middle. Marcotte breaking for the Flyer line. Over the line comes Riley. He's in. A shot. Save. Tipped up in the air by Perron and knocked to the near corner by the glove of Billy Barber. Takes it himself. Tries to come past Marcotte. Can't. Savard tries to feed into O'Reilly and Marcotte. Tipped away finally to the blue line. Still into the Reign Flyer zone. Out to the point. Atterstrand will keep it in. Shot on the net. Right through a screen with O'Reilly there, and Perron got a piece of it. The Bruins forechecking beautifully. Now, DuPont takes a run at O'Reilly. It tips back to the point. Dallas Smith with a shot. And it's blocked into that far corner. We're going to have a penalty. And it's going to be Kindrachuk over there with Savard. And it's not much of a fight so far, Don.
Savard tried to back Kindrachuk into the backboards, but Orris just spun away from him, and immediately the linesman moved in. I don't think there were any punches landed. Now Savard loops one over as Kindrachuk has pulled his helmet off. Savard's hand now has got a hold of Kindrachuk's hair, and Skov is trying to break it loose. D'Amico has a hold of Kindrachuk. Pavlich separates Savard, so we'll have at least 2 for roughing for both, perhaps 5 for fighting.
There was another penalty being called in there, Don.
DuPont and O'Reilly started to go at it, so we might have double penalties to both sides.
Super job so far by Skov, and I think that's what the playoffs need, not only the good officiating, but the experienced officiating.
Hey, the Spectrum Boxing Department presents a classic confrontation of the boxer, that's Bobby Boogaloo Watts, versus the puncher Eugene Cyclone Hart on Wednesday, May 22nd. The North Philadelphia middleweights will meet in a 10-round neighborhood showdown. Watts boasts a 23-3-1 record with 10 KOs. Hart 24-3-1 with 23 KOs. Tickets at $5, $7, and $10 go on sale Monday, May 6th at Spectrum and Ticketron outlets. And that's where the original confrontation started. DuPont and O'Reilly when Kindrachuk and Savard squared up.
Kindrachuk's going to get a double minor. Elbow and rough.
4 minutes to both, Gene. At 14:42. So that's the call to both. 2 for elbowing, 2 for roughing. So both teams will play shorthanded. Now Selesky has thoughts of going with Dallas Smith and or Don Marcotte, as they're both over by the Boston penalty box. And I think if cooler heads do not prevail, there could end up being more serious damage done penalty-wise to both clubs. Good save by Perrant. And as the puck deflected to the far boards, the action started up between DuPont and O'Reilly, and then Savard and Kindrachuk.
Penalties now stand 5 for the Bruins and 6 for the Flyers.
Flyers send out Clark and Simone Nollet as their forwards, with DuPont and Joe Watson at defense. The Bruins go with Greg Shepard and Bobby Schmatz as their forwards. Al Sims and Bobby Orr on defense, with a face-off coming to the left of Bernie Perrant in the Flyer zone. 2-1 the score. Boston scoring both of their goals in the opening period.
Shepard loses the draw to Clark. DuPont has it in front of the net. Has to dump it to Clark, back to DuPont as they were forechecked by Shepard and Schmatz. DuPont out along the far boards. Joe Watson now up to the blue line, has trouble with it, trying to control. Retreats away from Shepard. Now plays off the near boards for Nollet. Lost to Sims. Back to Joe Watson along the near side. Joe seems to be feeling the pressure of the forechecking, and Nollet avoids Schmatz's check and starts up the middle with Clark on his left. Over the line. Clark can't control. Orr will take it. Winds it around to the near side, and Sims picks it up on the fly. Comes up along the left side. Breaks for the Flyer blue line at the middle. Passes to Schmatz. Dumps it right onto the stick of DuPont in the Flyer circle to the left of Perrant. And he gives it off the near side. Hits Skov in the skate, and Nollet has it. Crosses at his own blue line, far side for DuPont. Up at the blue line now, the Bruins. Dumps it on Gilbert. Drops it at his feet. Steers it to the near side. Is run into by DuPont. Along the near side, Sims trying to dig it out. Has trouble with it. Nollet centering in the blind. Nobody over there, and Schmatz takes it off the boards at his own blue line. 2:54 remaining on the double minors. Orr tried to get past Clark, and Clark poked it off his stick and cleared along the near side. Deflect breaking. Over the line, going down behind the net, and the whole play is offside as it was a 2-line pass. And John D'Amico clearly signaling, pointing to the Flyer blue line and the Bruin blue line. 4:01 remaining in the period. 2-1 Boston, with 2:43 remaining on the double minors called Orris Kindrachuk and the Bruins' Andre Savard.
DuPont upended by Gilbert, who subsequently was upended himself as the two of them collided at the corner of the Bruins' net. Gilbert might have gotten the worst of that, as it appeared his ankle might have bent under.
Dallas Smith out there with Cashman, Esposito, and Orr. Flyers crisp with Flett, Van Impen, Jimmy Watson. At his own line, crossing the Orr along the far side. Pivots nicely away from Chris. Pivots again. Chris goes down. Orr still with the puck over the line along the near side. Gets past Flett. Tips it into that far side to Esposito. Centers right out in front, and Perrant got his stick out to deflect it to Crispwood. Comes back the other way. Right wings to Flett. Winds up with a drive. Oh, right on the short side. And Gilbert made the good save as that was ticketed. Cashman with the puck now behind his own net. 3.5 minutes remaining second period. 2-1 Boston. Cashman gives to Orr. Orr looking back for Cashman up on the right wing. Comes to the Flyer line. Espo breaks for the net. Shot right on. Perrant the glove save. Steers it off the near side for Flett. Flett gives it away to Cashman on the deflection. Back to Orr. He's in. Shot. Jimmy Watson blocks. Karen back to Orr. Behind the net on the deflection. Tipped away from Cashman, but he gets it away from Perrant in that far corner. Wants to throw it out. Beautiful deep. He's got Espo. Shot. Quick save by Perrant. Now to Dallas Smith behind the net. Looks for in the center. They've got the two big guys in front. Back to Orr at the point. Challenges Chris. Shot. Tipped wide by Espo to Jimmy Watson. Watson tied up by Esposito. The Bruins using that strength, but finally it's Crisp up to Flett. Flett coming against Dallas Smith. Shot wide of Gilbert as the Flyers making the change in Orr on that right wing. Looking for Cashman. Gives instead to Dallas Smith right up the middle at the Flyer line. Gets past DuPont, but offside is Cashman and Esposito.
Down to 1:15 left on the double minors being served by Kindrachuk of the Flyers, Savard for Boston. And this has turned into be another winged-in hockey game. The pattern very similar to that of Tuesday night, with the Flyers cracking open the game for two in the first period. The Flyers tightening up and coming back for one of their own here in the second period. 2:33 to go in second period play. 2-1 Boston. Flett unloading a couple of cannon shots from long range. One of them almost fooled Gilbert, but made the glove save anyway.
Vadnais lifts one towards Perrant. Over the back of the net. Trickles to DuPont. Winds up around to Bladen. Forecheck, the knockdown by Shepard. Out in front, the pass comes, but it rolls in on the net by Schmaltz. And again, good forechecking, setting up Bruin plays. Lonsbury fails to get it out. The Flyers being overly cautious in moving the puck. Giving the Roger Schmaltz. Shot blocked. He gets his own rebound. Can't get it away from McLeish, and back comes Lonsbury. Comes with DuPont over the line. Penetrates. Holds. Has no shot. Still holds. Wants to get inside his man, and Dallas Smith obviously going off for holding. Braden keeps it into DuPont. Pass blocked by Schmaltz. They keep it at the line. DuPont tries to play it out, and out breaks O'Reilly, but now the penalty and an obvious hold against Dallas Smith. And so with the face-off down in the Bruin zone, the Flyers now have their first 4 skaters to 3 edge, and they'll have it for 29 seconds. That's the time remaining on the double minors to Kindrachuk and Savard. And following that, if no goal is ensuing, they'll have the full 6-5 power play for 1:31.
Dallas Smith wrapping his left arm right around the throat of Ross Lonsbury. Dallas Smith for holding at 18-13. The Flyers will have the edge for the next 2 minutes of play. Both Savard and Kindrachuk back in 29 seconds, and then the Flyers will have the full power play strength. For the time being, it's going to be Clark and Lonsbury and McLeish with Bladen. Well, Clark now comes to the bench.
Bruins got a little break there as DuPont couldn't shove it down into the corner away from Shepard. And then had the play been stopped there, then they would have had the face-off in the circle. Now Esposito can do his own cause good by getting that face-off back at center. Or out there with Vadnais and Esposito. Let's say an awesome trio. Flyers go Lonsbury, McLeish, Clark, and Bladen. Lonsbury gets it out with 27 seconds to Bladen. He'll penetrate. Now hold. Back to Lonsbury. Crosses off to McLeish. Bouncing puck. Can't control the shot. Dumps past Orr to Bladen. Tries to get it back to McLeish. Hit by a high stick. Comes to center ice. And it's waved off. Waved off by Art Skov. Now Lonsbury dumps it in. It'll roll to Orr. Orr around the far side of the net. Comes out the near side and ices it. And that'll do it for the penalty. As out now comes Savard and Kindrachuk. And it's very easy with the penalty box on that side for the Bruins to send Cashman out. Flyers just couldn't get that thing organized. And now Esposito forechecking Lonsbury, who skates behind his own net. We've got 1:05 left in the period. Flyers have a power play for 1:15. They trail 2-1. Lonsbury at the Boston line. Flips. It's deflected into the air to the near side. And now we have an offside whistle by Matt Pavlich. 56 seconds remaining in the period. Back to Jimmy Watson. Looks over here for DuPont along the near side. DuPont cuts into the zone. Tries to drop a pass back to Clark, and Cashman plays up to Esposito. Going one-on-one. Tries to cut inside his man. There's a shot. And Espo really has the quick moves as he appeared to draw short and then flicked the quick shot. Clark forechecked by Vadnais. The Bruins forechecking this period has been outstanding. Up the middle comes Clark. Right wings for McLeish. Shot wide to the long side. Karam's up to the far side. Kindrachuk tries to keep it in. Does past Esposito. Clark at the point. Into Kindrachuk. Kindrachuk back to DuPont. He's in. Shot blocked. They scramble for it. Dug out by Clark. He can't get the pass out. Comes out in front. They tip out. He kicks it again. Hits the side of the net. To McLeish. To Kindrachuk. Right through the open goal mouth. 9 seconds left in the period. Going around the net. No glove and no stick for the goaltender. And as Clark clears it up to the point, the time is over. And the second period ends as Kindrachuk, and we've got Gilbert in there with Kindrachuk, and we'll get some penalties, and everybody screams on the ice, Don.
There's got to be a third man in there, and it could end up being Gilbert. He was the third man in and should get a game misconduct, as did Jimmy Watson in the fight involving Cashman and Van Impe on Tuesday night. At the end of 2 periods of play, the score is Boston 2, Flyers 1.
2 men in the box for the Bruins, 1 for the Flyers. Let's go Flyers, and let's go Don Earl for period number 3.
Thank you, Gene. It's going to be Bobby Clark against Phil Esposito. On the faceoff, Boston controls. Orr flips it into the Flyer zone. Bouncing puck controlled by Van Impe. Van Impe looks for the open man. It's Clark coming up the left side. McLeish on the right wing. Jammed to the right wing corner. Gilbert will handle it. Clears it off the glass. Van Impe will try to keep it in. Knocked down by Esposito. McLeish takes a check from Al Sims, and back to cover up for Boston, Ken Hodge. Clark stays with Hodge behind the Boston net. Orr moves in, and he controls. Wheels away from McLeish. McLeish slows him down. Orr gets it back again. Van Impe will get a backhander back into the corner for Clark. Clark looks for the open man. Pulls it inside of Sims. Shot from the short side is blocked by Gilbert, and here comes Esposito. He's got Orr on his right. Orr across the line. Wheels away from Jimmy Watson. Backhander, glove save. And Perrant ties it up. And finally gets the whistle. Probably the longest whistle I've heard all year long.
Well, I tell you, on that play, thank heaven, when Orr did the pivot, and a beautiful one at that, he was on the backhand. Great rush up ice, Esposito and Orr. Espo at the line fed Orr, and as he penetrated against Jimmy Watson, pivoted, it took Watson out. And then instead of going into the forehand, he just had to take a backhand, and it was a good one, but Perrant had it covered. 1:07 remaining on the minors to Gilbert being served by Karel Vadnais and Orest Kindrachuk.
Orr's backhand is still probably as hard as a lot of players' forehand. Face off to the right of Perrant. On the face-off, Barber taps it by Sims as sticks come up high. 1-on-1. The one-man back is Orr. Selesky's drive has Gilbert dropping to his knees. Loose puck cleared out of the crease, in front of the crease by Orr. Puck comes to center ice. DuPont has it. Off the boards for Barber. Barber tied up by Hodge. Hodge spins Joe Watson around and off the puck. Now it's Barber with Selesky. Barber sends Selesky across the line. Selesky gets inside of Esposito. Now it's going to be Barber across to the open man, Joe Watson. Off the backhander, puts it in the corner for Selesky. He's tied up by Orr. Barber picks up the puck, trying to shake Esposito as he's tied up. Moving in to help out is Hodge. Hodge will go for the face-off if he can as Selesky moves in, but it's wound to the far corner for Al Sims. DuPont races to keep it in and does. Back behind the Boston net. 15 seconds left on the minors to Kindrachuk and Gilbert. Cashman is through for the night on a game misconduct. Hodge on the right wing. The big shot is muffled by Moose DuPont as really Hodge tried to tap it by him. Joe Watson loses in front of Perrant as both teams are back at full strength. Kindrachuk in there. He breaks up Forbes, and here comes Kindrachuk with Selesky. Kindrachuk across the Boston line. Goes wide on Orr. Pulls up short. Still has the puck. Spins away from Forbes. Centering pass. Backhanded by Crisp is blocked by Dallas Smith. Joe Watson's drive way wide. Rebound controlled on the left wing by Esposito. To Schmatz. Poked away from Forbes by Van Impe. Now it's Terry Crisp. Crisp across the red line, across to Kindrachuk. He's inside the Boston zone. Sends Dole into the corner, but Orr is there first. Crisp intercepts. Crisp in the right wing corner. Centering pass. Nolay. That's hooked under the post as Nolay pirouetted at that far post. Just caught the outside of the post. Crisp keeps the puck in the zone, but it's right on the stick of Bobby Schmatz. Now it's Orr with Forbes and Esposito. Esposito, the trailer, glove save. Perrant, and he holds on. With 17 minutes even left in the third period, the score is 2-1 Boston.
Simone Nolay on a deke from behind the net, almost trickled it in off Bobby Orr's skate.
Face off in the Flyer zone. Comes back to Dallas Smith. Through a screen. Glove save. Perrant drops it off for Jimmy Watson. He can't clear. Schmatz drops it off for Shepard. Shepard, a weak backhander, smothered by Perrant as Schmatz was coming in off that right wing.
Schmatz has played, I thought, much more effectively tonight than he did on Tuesday. He's more aggressive and forechecking, and that's the answer.
Talking to the Boston sports writers, they tell me that he's been anything but consistent since coming over to the Bruins from Vancouver. He'll have a hot night, then cool off for several games, and then come back with a pretty good one maybe a week or so later. But he's been steady tonight. On the draw, Shepard and Crisp. Flyers control. It's DuPont. DuPont leads Bladen. Good pass to Crisp. He can't control it, though, and Vadnais swats it back toward the Flyer line. DuPont picks it up. His lead pass hits Flett in the back of the leg. DuPont whips a backhander wide of the Boston net. Left behind for Vadnais. Up to Schmatz on the right wing. Forechecking with the Flyers, Crisp. He has Schmatz tied up, and I believe the puck is in that corner, forcing the face-off to the right of Gilbert as we're 3:37 into the third period of play. The Flyers trailing by 1, 2-1.
Penalties called tonight by Art Skov, who's done a fine job, 15 of them. 8 against the Bruins, 7 against the Flyers. No power play goals officially for either club, and the only damaging penalty in the sense of strategy was the loss of Wayne Cashman at the end of period number 2 on the third man in.
Off the face-off, McLeish's drive is wide. Kept in by Dornhofer on the right wing. Through a screen. Lonsbury almost getting a stick down to redirect it. Bobby Schmatz has trouble coming out of the Boston zone. Schmatz retreats in front of Gilbert. Lonsbury forechecking. Dropped off for Shepard. Shepard gets by Lonsbury. He gets by McLeish. Shepard, the shot, off the stick arm of Perrant. Dornhofer, as Shepard almost went into the Flyer net. Now it's Dornhofer to center ice. On the left wing, his off wing drops it off, but too deep. And offside is called anyway as D'Amico runs into Busick or Busick into D'Amico. I don't know which.
2-1 Boston.
Face off, McLeish taps it into the Boston zone. Gilbert drops it off for Al Sims. Orr was going the wrong way, but recovers in time and picks up the pass. And now he's out to center ice with Marcotte on the left wing, O'Reilly on the right wing. Marcotte gets inside McLeish. Centering pass hits the side of the Flyer net. DuPont behind the net, double teamed. Intercepted by Andre Savard. Moose DuPont tied up. Savard tied up. Lonsbury trying to get the puck loose. Finally whistled down. We've got a face-off in the Flyers' end as O'Reilly goes in. And moving in very quickly, John D'Amico and Matt Pavlich. Face-off to the left of Perrant as Art Skov peers intently from the far side of the Flyer goal line.
DuPont might have gotten a penalty there for hooking, although part of that could have been Savard's grabbing hold and spinning around in order to draw just that. But Skov was talking to Marcotte, says made some hand motions and said nix.
Clark against Savard. In the Flyer zone to the left of Perrant. Face-off control by the Flyers. Jimmy Watson gets to center ice. Lead pass to Schultz on the left wing. Tries to center it for Jimmy Watson. Blocked by Orr, and here comes O'Reilly. With Savard, 3-on-2. Savard, shot, wide, rebound, cleared behind the net by Perrant. O'Reilly bumped by Clark, and Jimmy Watson comes up with a loose puck. Watson up the center with Schultz. We got a 3-on-2 Flyer break. Jimmy Watson deep on the left wing. Centering pass, just tipped wide by Al Sims. That pass is on the mark. Flett's got a goal. Van Impe back at his own line to Jimmy Watson on the left wing. He fires to the Bruins' right wing corner. Karam taken off the boards and behind the net by Sims. Around to O'Reilly on the right wing. Just steers it to center ice where it's Van Impe for the Flyers. Van Impe sends it the length of the ice. It will not be icing as Orr just coasts back for it. Flyers want a defensive change and get it. Now it's O'Reilly on the right wing. Taps it to center ice. Picked up by Savard. He's bumped off the puck by Flett. Joe Watson takes a bump by Don Marcotte. And sticks get high as Dave Schultz comes to center ice. Schultz with Bobby Clark across the line. Schultz on his off wing. Centering pass picked up by Selesky. Has trouble controlling it. Centering pass intended for Clark. Blocked off by Orr. And we've got a face-off in the Boston end. With 13:57. Now we've got Savard and Don Selesky. Selesky, much the taller of the two, gets his right hand free.
There's Savard in there again, and Don, through his year-long penalty figures and in the first series of playoffs, he's the least, or one of the least likely combatants for the Bruins. But he's already picked up a tripping call tonight, plus 2 for elbowing and 2 for roughing, as he was involved in one set-to with R.S. Kindrachuk. Now this time it was with Selesky. And
so
that
with
thing
13:57 left in the third period, the score remains Boston 2, Flyers 1.
Well, Andre Savard and Selesky each pick up double minors, each pick up a minor, coincidental minors. For Savard, his 4th of the night, and they each picked them up roughing. It should be the call, and that's what it is here. Penalties 16 and 17 called by Art Skov, 9 against Boston, 8 against the Philadelphia Flyers. And once again, teams will play 5 aside for the next 2 minutes. Boston scored Cashman and then Esposito 3 minutes and 16 seconds apart late in the first period, and the Flyers got one back in the first minute and 8 seconds of the second from Clark, and that's where we've stood ever since. You're looking for Wayne Cashman. He'll be looking on in civilian clothes as he was ejected the 20-minute mark at the end of period number 2 on the third man in, a battle between Kindrachuk and goaltender Gilles Gilbert. Selesky, and again, great work by the linesmen, and that's why we see them so often now. D'Amico and Pavlich were not only good linesmen, Don, but they're physically strong, and you're going to need that for 2 physically big clubs. And here a change of pace for his performance tonight. Ken Hodge getting applause instead of the boos as we heard during the regular season and on Tuesday night.
All set to go. Back to live action. Face off to the right of Gilbert in the Boston end. Clark against Esposito. Face off controlled by Boston. Clark forechecking Vadnais, but Vadnais gets his pass off to the far corner for Dallas Smith. Too far for Esposito. Bladen dumps it back in the Boston zone, taken away by Dallas Smith as the Bruins want a defensive line change. Or a line change, they send Hodge out there. Clark on the left wing at center, across to Tom Bladen, across the Boston line. Gets by Hodge deep in the left wing corner. He's bumped off the puck, and Vadnais has it. Vadnais drops it off for Dallas Smith. Smith, a strong skating defenseman, comes to center ice. Feeds off for Esposito. He can't control it. Clark drops it back for Moose Dupont. At center ice, Barber can't control it. Clark gets it back at center ice on the left wing. Cuts to the middle. Feeds ahead, but right on the stick of Esposito, who just slowly dumps it back into the Flyer end. Dupont will take the bouncing puck behind his own net. Esposito waits out front. Feeds off to Barber, broken up by Esposito. As Hodge is waiting alone in front of the Flyer net. Now Bladen gets it to the near corner for Dupont. Up to Barber in the left wing. Barber with McLeish. Drives long. Glove save Gilbert. Drops it into the corner for Vadnais. Now it's Dallas Smith. Far corner to our left. Ahead on the left wing for Esposito. Hodge way offside. We've got the call, and the faceoff will be back at center ice outside the Flyer blue line.
Esposito did some loops around Art Skov, drawing, as did Hodge on that offside call with a face-off at center ice. 38 seconds remaining on the penalties to Zaleski and Savard.
Flyers going with McLeish and Dornhofer. The Boston Bruins have Savard and Schmatz. Now here's Schmatz across the line. His shot way wide. Karam goes behind the net. Dornhofer jumps out of the way of a Schmatz check and has the puck. Tied up by Shepard. Shepard goes down. Orr controls. Fires to the far corner in the Flyer zone to our right. And Ed Van Imp. Around the boards for McLeish on the left wing. Drops it back to Jimmy Watson. Watson dekes by Schmatz. Lead pass for Dornhofer. He's onside, but Orr will get there first. And he controls the puck. Orr out the far side. Drops it off for Sims. Both teams back at full strength. Sims across the line. Bumped off the puck by Selesky. Van Imp controlling on the left wing boards to center ice. And offside is the call as that puck did come across the line No question about it.
Funny how people at a bad angle will jump up. Of course, the emotions cloud the decision, as Matt Pavlich was right there. Sometimes, Anna, as you and I know, that a move like that can be made so quickly that it doesn't appear to have come out. And Sims has that puck. It did not come out. As you see it, look at it again. It may have been right on the line. It may have been a good save.
Back to live action again. Orr at the red line. Winds it around the Flyer boards. Perrant. DuPont. Picked up by Busick. Busick in the Flyers' corner. Centering pass deflected to the near boards. Orr keeps it in at the right point. To Schmatz. Shepard can't control the puck. Schmatz back to Sims. The drive. It's wide. Rebound. Right across in front of Perrant. And Schmatz goes down. He's been hurt. Here comes Dornhofer across the line. But play is stopped. And how many times have we seen this happen where play is allowed to continue and a player's been hurt?
Only assume Schmaltz got a stick in front of the net out of that melee, and it may be that he's cut because Art Skov has signaled to the bench for some assistance. And we have the Bruins trainer out there. But no, he's got up quickly, so with that now seemingly not a serious situation, 11:15 remaining in the third period, 2-1 Boston. Back here, Schmaltz getting, I think, some smelling salts from the Bruin trainer as the shot was wide of Perrant. The carom came out the near side, and the backhander was taken. It appeared to hit a skate off the stick of Shepard, roll right through the open goal mouth. In there was Bladen, and Bladen gave him a bump, and I think as he swung around after the play, got Schmaltz in the back of the head. Schmaltz now appears to have shaken off that bump, and the play will come inside the Bruin zone with 11:15 remaining in regulation time, and it's 2-1 the Bees.
Esposito against Clark. Clark gets it to Flett. His shot is deflected wide by Al Sims. Orr gaining control. Leads Esposito coming out of the Boston end. Broken up at center ice, picked up by Schultz. Schultz bumped off the puck by Forbes. He's hit by Flett and coughs up the puck to Schultz. Schultz across the red line. Gets through a traffic jam. Picked up by DuPont. DuPont takes his own man, Schultz, down and puts it behind the Boston net. Forechecking on Orr is Clark. He back passes up the near boards for Ken Hodge. He's tied up by Schultz. Clark gets it loose, but there's no Flyer there to pass to, and it comes out to center ice. Forbes too far for Esposito. DuPont bouncing puck to Clark at the line. He's broken up, picked up by Schultz. Schultz across the line, still controlling, trying to shake Orr. Bouncing puck kicked down by Sims. Puck kept in by Bladen in the Boston end. Now it's Esposito up the left wing for Forbes at center. He fires to the Flyers' right wing corner. Off the boards, DuPont. Lead pass goes to Clark. Clark pulls up short on Vadnais. Fires it to the Bruins' right wing corner. Dallas Smith trying to clear out. Kept in by Flett. He winds it around to the near side. Now it's O'Reilly getting around Kindrachuk. Schultz comes off. He's replaced by Bill Barber. And now it's Esposito across the Flyer line. Closing. Knocked down by Perrant. Jimmy Watson clears out of the front of the net. Ties up Esposito. Forbes wraps into Kindrachuk. O'Reilly back passes. Vadnais right point. The drive. Bouncing puck. Finally not tied up. Perrant is down. Now he's back up again as Flett skates it out. Left wing pass, and we've got a penalty. I believe it's against the Flyers. Number 20, Jimmy Watson, for holding. And so with 9:30 left in the third period, the score remains 2-1 Boston.
Jimmy Watson picks up 2 for holding Esposito on that melee in front of the Flyer net. For the Flyers, the 9th penalty of 18 called by Art Skov, and gives the Bruins their 5th power play opportunity of the evening. Let's pause now for station identification on the Flyers Hockey Network.
Proud of the Flyers, WTAF TV 29, Philadelphia.
Again, perhaps the most dangerous play, as Forbes appeared to have Perrant at his mercy, but Bernie dove out, just knocked that puck clear, and then, despite the fact he appeared tied up, to get up and cover the net, but Jimmy Watson had a bear hold on Esposito as he knocked him down on Perrant and then sat on him. Flett was able to get the puck up ice. All right, Esposito, Busick, and Hodge with Vadnais and Orr. Most pivotal time, Don. The Flyers cannot afford to give up any more goals right now, trailing 2-1 this late in the third period, and particularly one that would give the Bruins a 2-goal edge.
Well, at this time Tuesday night, we had a tie hockey game going. Flyers would like to climb back, but they find themselves one man short against the Bruins power play. Clark can't clear the zone of the puck. Busick centering pass comes out to Orr at the right point. The drive, tip and attempt by Hodge, hits the glass behind Perron. Loose puck out front, and Esposito's going to be going off for tripping Bill Barber. And Esposito's laughing about it.
10 penalties against the Bruins. They play 5 aside for 144. Flyers with a short power play edge of 16 seconds when it comes.
It's going to be Greg Shepard against Bobby Clark directly down below us. Quick whistle on the faceoff as again someone is out of position as they line up for the draw. Apparently it's Ken Hodge as Matt Pavlich is talking to him, and rather sternly. On the faceoff, Boston controls. Orr has it. Wheeling away from the forechecking of Bobby Clark. He has Al Sims with him. Orr starts up the left side. Dumps it up to Shepard. He's checked off the puck, but we've got a whistle as apparently there's an offside called against Boston. Offside pass. And the drop will come inside the Boston line.
Minute and 30 left on the penalty to the Flyers, Jimmy Watson. 146 on that to Esposito. 9 minutes exactly remaining, third period. 2-1 Bruins.
Clark and Barber, Bladen and DuPont. The 4 skaters on for the Flyers. Puck pops back to center ice. DuPont rakes it around the boards, left to right. Stopped behind the Boston net by Gilbert. Bobby Orr has it. Orr leads Al Sims off the boards. He takes a check from Clark. Kept in by Clark. Clark still controlling. Now it's intercepted by Hodge. Hodge taken down from behind. Gilbert, Perron way out of his net to clear it ahead for Bill Barber. Barber gets around Hodge on the left wing, across the line. Shot stopped by Gilbert. Follow-up shot tied up by Bobby Orr. Shepard trying to dig it loose. We've got a face-off, and they're calling for a penalty against Bill Barber.
I'd have to go along with the Boston fans, Don, on that booing, as Bobby Clark realized that he had a 2-on-1 against him when Hodge broke it away from him and just reached and tried as hard as he could to hook Hodge down from behind, slowed him down enough, and then tripped him up as Perron came out just to dig it away in time from Shepard, who was the second man in. And that time the Flyers were given a bit of grace, as they would have had 2 men in the box to the Bruins 1 at this juncture. 51 seconds on that to Jimmy Watson, 107 on that to Esposito. Perron actually missed the play with his stick, but covered it up by trailing with his pads to sweep it into center ice. They're playing 5 aside, 2-1 Boston.
In the Boston zone, Crisp on the faceoff as he and Vadnais go for it. Joe Watson trying to keep it in, but it squibs back to center ice where it's Ed Van Impe. Backing into the Flyer zone, feeding ahead on the right wing now to Simone Nollet. Nollet gets around Dallas Smith, but spun around enough, takes a check from Carol Vadnais, and behind his own net, Schmatz up to Shepard on the left wing. Hops over his stick. Crisp across to Joe Watson. The drive just misses the head of Bobby Schmatz and deflected into the seats. That was close.
Big play by Bobby Schmatz as he realized Watson had a shot with Chris streaking across in front for the screen. Jimmy Watson looking up at the clock that shows he has 25 seconds remaining on his penalty. 41 on that to Phil Esposito. As Chris got it over to the near side to Jimmy Watson. And as he wound up, Schwartz just dove across and took the shot off his leg pads. And it caromed up into the seats along the near side. Face-off will be midway between the top of the circle and the blue line along the near side. 2-1 Boston, 7:55 remaining third period.
Savard against McLeish. Back at center ice with the Flyers control. Van Impe flips a bouncer that's gloved on the first hop, but not too cleanly by Gilbert. Flips it aside for Vadnais. Now to Dallas Smith behind his own net. On the left wing, Marcotte breaks out to center ice. Marcotte across the Flyers line, deep in the left wing corner. His shot comes all the way back to Vadnais at the right point. Backhands it back into the corner. Centering pass gets by Shepard all the way back to the Boston end. Good setup by the two-way forward, Don Marcotte. Jimmy Watson is back. The Flyers will be at one-man advantage now for the next 8 seconds. Behind the Boston net, Gilbert feeds up the left wing, pops into the center ice area just in front of the bench. And now both teams are back at full strength as Lonsbury cuts inside on the left wing, closing on Gilbert. Shot, glove save. And he held it against his chest protector just as Dornhofer came in off the near wing.
Again, they all bumped Dallas Smith in there. And they're all making, credit cards and calling cards to let them know they're out. Was surrounded by 4 bodies. Dallas Smith, Vadnais, Orr, and I believe Shepard. Lonsbury was able to dig through and get himself a good forehand shot. Make that Busick who was on, and Gilbert caught it chest high. 7:04 left in the third period. 2-1 Boston, and the penalty boxes are empty.
Bernie Parent came into tonight's game the first time in the Stanley Cup play this year with an average 2 or above, 205 with 8 wins, 4 losses. Gilles Gilbert at 271, having won 9 and lost 2.
There's a big brave fella drawing from his box. Now Lonsbury looks at him and tells him off. And John D'Amico is telling him to cool it over there and to get some security over there. Now Lonsbury is told by Art Scove, forget it, let's play hockey.
Faceoff will be in the circle to the right of Gilbert. It's going to be Rick McLeish against Greg Shepard. On the faceoff, shot off the faceoff, goes over the net. Drive by Dornhofer, goes astray, and it's picked up by Bobby Orr. Intended for Lonsbury in the slot. Now it's dumped all the way. Now caught on the skates of Matt Pavlich across the way, and play is stopped as we've got a 2-line offside called against the Boston Bruins.
Strange, there was the yip and the yee behind us. Complaint of Matt Pavlich breaking up a Bruin rush, but all the way had Busick ever touched up, it would have been an offside.
Face-off controlled by the Flyers. Lonsbury trying to dump it into McLeish, blocked off by Orr. Now Schmatz broken up by DuPont. DuPont stays right with him. Now Schmatz back passes to Orr, who takes it behind the Boston net to our left. Orr starts the rush slowly. Has Shepard breaking. On the left wing, Shepard slowed down by Dornhofer. Inside the line, a shot is blocked by Bladen. Busick controls the bouncing puck. Busick back passes, picked up by Al Sims, tapped to center ice by Lonsbury. Now it's Dornhofer up to McLeish, one-on-one against Orr. McLeish going wide, shot just missed the far post. Lonsbury trying to keep it in at the right point. Does, but it's intercepted by Orr, and he just steers it to center ice for Shepard. Shepard across the line. Taken down, and Jimmy Watson's going to be going off again. And so, with 5:59 left in the third period, the score is 2-1 Boston. Flyers will go with Barber and Clark. Van Imp, and it's going to be Joe Watson coming up. The usual Boston power play. Esposito between Busick and Hodge. Carroll, Vadnais, and Orr at the points. Clark wins the draw back to his own backboard. Barber is there. He's tied up by Esposito. Gets loose, finds an opening, and drills it down the ice. Has linesman Matt Pavlich ducking as he drives it out of the Flyers zone. Back comes Vadnais. All the way to the Flyers corner. No icing. Joe Watson off the near boards to center ice where it's Orr controlling. Orr up to Esposito. Cleared to center ice by Bill Barber once more. Orr, this time, trying to get around Bobby Clark. Flips it up to Hodge. Hodge is checked from behind, and Joe Watson clears at the length of the ice. Joe Watson has played a hard and steady series against Boston in these first 2 games. Orr starts up the right wing. Cuts to the middle as he hits center ice. Orr picks up speed. Ahead for Vadnais. Winds it around behind the Flyer net. Van Imp around the boards. Hodge tied up, kept in by Orr. Bouncing puck knocked down, and Joe Watson again clears. Down to 58 seconds left on the penalty to Jimmy Watson. Orr is going to try and do it alone now as he comes to center ice. Orr across the Flyer line. Slowed down, but offside against Boston. As again, Gene, awfully difficult to determine Orr's pace of speed.
That time DuPont, by challenging him, made him deke just enough to send the wings in too soon. We've got 49 seconds remaining on Watson's penalty. 4:48 remaining third period, and it remains 2-1.
Face-off at center ice, controlled by Boston. Vadnais fires around the boards. Perrant leaves it behind his own net for Bladen. Ken Hodge trying to control. Orr can't keep it in. Now Lonsbury battles Hodge, gets it to center ice, but Orr has it. Flyers must mount some sort of an offensive, and they've got 4.5 minutes to do it if they want to tie this game. Puck cleared the length of the ice by Dornhofer. Jimmy Watson will be out in 23 seconds. Orr cranks up again, up to Hodge on the right wing. Cross to Vadnais. Vadnais tied up by Lonsbury, but does manage to get it behind the net. Perrant one-hands it up to Dornhofer on the right wing. Dornhofer tries to spring Lonsbury loose, but the one-man back is Orr, and he's got it inside his own zone. 3 seconds, Jimmy Watson on his feet. Here comes Marcotte. Fires to the Flyers' right wing corners. The Flyers back at full strength. McLeish up to Jimmy Watson on the right wing. Passes to the open left wing as the Flyers are in the midst of a line change. McLeish gets by Vadnais, but Dallas Smith cuts inside and controls the puck. At center ice, Marcotte again drills it to the Flyers' right wing corner. DuPont starts out of his own zone. Selesky left wing. Lead pass knocked down by O'Reilly, picked up by McLeish. Backhander bounces wide. Gilbert makes the sliding save. Vadnais up to O'Reilly, kept in. No, it's at center ice as Savard gets behind Nolay. Rolls right in. Great save as Marcotte is upended as Perrant makes the sweep save. Here comes Nolay. Trying to cut inside. Has the puck to Nowinski. Misses the net. He had it wide open but missed the net. There was the tying goal right there, and a great setup by Simon Nolay.
Simon Nolay, beautiful drive. Split the defense, was spun, but got off on the deep backhand and threw a perfect pass to Selesky, who fired wide of the net when it appeared he had much net to shoot at. Great rush by Nolay, and there was the opportunity. Nolay, perfect drop pass back to Zaleski. He had Gilbert out of position, moving right in, and then fired over the top of the net. 3:09 remaining in the third period. 2-1 Boston as Perrant gets a delay now for equipment change.
Perrant over to get a bit of a breather as Beth Quidlin faces behind his own net, his own bench. Flyers realize now it's getting down to the nub once more, as it did on Tuesday night. Only this time they find themselves trailing instead of tied. Flyers right now, I'm sure, would settle for the tying goal and let things take care of themselves in sudden death overtime. Face-off in the circle to the right of Gilbert. Clark, Barber, Flett. Barber and Flett have swapped wings, presumably to get the shot on the inside, which gives the shooter more net to shoot at. Clark back to Barber. Shot stopped by Gilbert. Rebound. Jimmy Watson battles to keep it in, but Schmatz gets it behind his own net. Pulls up short when he sees Clark in there. Flett battles him for it. Clark trying to pull it loose. Clark has it. Flyers trying to set up. Back to Jimmy Watson. The drive. Knocked down. Cleared to the corner by Flett. Vadnais takes Clark down. Flett moves in. Back to Jimmy Watson again. The drive in front. Controlled by Vadnais. Again Watson keeps it in. Watson bumped off the puck. Barber tripped up by Vadnais, but no call this time. Here comes Marcotte. 3-on-2. Schmatz wide open. Shepard shot over the Flyer net. Now it's Jimmy Watson trying to move out of his own zone. 2:25 left in regulation time. Jimmy Watson up to Bobby Clark on the left wing. Drops it back to Watson. Watson deking around Shepard. Gets around Schmatz. Flyers in a line change. Now it's Orr. Orr will kill off as much of the time as he possibly can. Orr flips it ahead for Marcotte, knocked down by Bladen, and that's the call by John D'Amico as he raised his stick above the shoulder length. Coming up next, the Tasty Cake postgame show. So why not settle back with a Tasty Cake and stay tuned for an interview with one of the stars of the game and a closer look at tonight's game. Like Tasty Cake, it's all the good things wrapped up in one. Gene Hart has already started making his way down toward ice level for the post-game interview. So we'll carry you right up to the conclusion of this period. Should the Flyers come up with a tying goal and this game go into sudden death overtime, I would imagine Gene would come back upstairs again to join us. It's going to be McLeish, Lonsbury, and Dornhofer against the Esposito line, minus Cashman, as Marcotte is skating the left wing. Dornhofer races Marcotte for the loose puck. DuPont intercepts in the slot in front of Perron. Intercepted now by Dallas Smith as he keeps it in the zone. A backhander goes wide. Marcotte taken down by Bladen as DuPont comes out the left side. Lead pass goes to McLeish. He's got Dornhofer with him. The trailer, drive by McLeish, is gloved eye high by Gilbert. Marcotte clears the length of the ice. This will be icing if the puck reaches the goal line. It does, and icing is the call against Boston with 1 minute 30 seconds showing in third period play. It'll be Esposito against Clark. Flyers will be looking for that good shot. Clark, McLeish, Lonsbury is the lineup for the Flyers up front with DuPont and Bladen at the points. Try that face-off once more as someone violated that face-off circle. DuPont now conversing with the Flyers team captain. As now the Bruins send out Vadnais, and he's stopped halfway by Skov, says no. You go back to the bench, stay with the men on the ice. So we'll try it once more in the circle to the left of Gilbert in the Boston end. 2-1 Boston. Bruins control the faceoff. Dallas Smith winds it around. McLeish tied up by Ken Hodge. Here comes Esposito with Marcotte wide open. Esposito bounces one in. Perron gloves it on the first hop. Drops it off for Bladen. He knocks it up to McLeish. McLeish drops it back for Clark in his own corner. Clark shakes Hodge. Around for Lonsbury. Lonsbury looking for an open man to pass to. Trying to shake Esposito as we're down to 1:05 left in the third period. Perron coming for the bench. Flyers will go with 6 skaters. It's Dornhofer who's come on. Or around to Hodge. He's tied up by Clark. Centering pass. DuPont! He scores! DuPont scores! It's all tied up! And Moose gives the shuffle as he drew one through a screen, and we're all tied up. And that's a big goal for the Moose. Going into tonight's game, DuPont, in 11 games played, have picked up 2 goals and 2 assists, and that has to be the biggest one yet. Time of the goal comes at 19:28. DuPont's third series goal. McLeish gets an assist. And Clark picks up an assist. 19:08 is the time, not 19:28. And the pattern maintains itself as the Flyers come back from a 2-0 deficit to tie this game 2-2. Face-off will be at center ice. A big goal for Andre DuPont as the Flyers, after one, were down 2-0. Came back with a goal of their own at 1:08 of the second period. That's the way the second period ended. Have held the Bruins scoreless since the first period and now have come back to tie late in the third period. Again, Art Skov intervenes as far as the lineup juggling that's been going on all night long between these two coaches. Clark, Flett, and Barber at center ice for the Flyers. Esposito, Hodge, and Dave Forbes on for the Bruins. Face-off controlled by Boston. Forbes splits between his 2 defensemen, and Gilbert has to scurry out and put it behind his own net. Dave Forbes overskates. Flett gets it around to Barber, but he's cut off by Hodge. Now it's Dallas Smith. 38 seconds left. Here comes Dave Forbes. Forbes tied up from behind, taken down by Clark. Here comes Jimmy Watson across the line, but Barber was in the zone. Now Watson cuts through. 25 seconds left. Flett takes the carom deep in the corner, checked by Forbes. Clark taken down, gets a weak centering pass off that's blocked off by Gilbert. Now it's up to Forbes. 12 seconds left in the third period. Clark to Barber. Cut off by Dallas Smith. Here comes Esposito. 5 seconds left in third period play. Esposito can't get a shot away, and we're going into sudden death overtime. And so at the end of the third period, the score is tied 2-2.
Well, this is the big one.
And we're just about set to go. Flyers moving from left to right for the first sudden death overtime at the Boston Garden. Flyers 2, Boston 2. Let's go Flyers, and let's go Gene Hart.
Going to be Clark, Barber, and Klett. With Jimmy Watson and Van Impe against Forbes with Hodge, centered by Esposito, Sims, and Flyers moving to our right, Boston to the left. Art Scove, they're not happy with him in Boston tonight. Puck goes to Jimmy Watson along the near side, poked off the stick by Sims, up the flat, deflects to Orr. Turns in his own zone. Reverses back in, away from the forechecking of Clark, gives to Sims along the near side, up and over that line, dumps it into that far corner of Bruins zone. Esposito centers, it is tipped off his stick to Barber, trying to deke out, and Barber couldn't get past Hodge, whose stick deflected the puck back to Perron, who sat on it to stop play after 25 seconds of scoreless play in overtime.
I would guess that the Bruins will try and go with the forechecking maneuvers that gave them their 2 goals. Their brute strength around the Flyer net, trying to set up their big men. The Flyers will dump it out and try to make themselves available for a Bruin mistake.
Back to Orr. Shot. Where is it? It's loose in front. They poke at it. A shot. It hits Perron in the side of the net, and he falls on it to stop play. And there it was. The Bruins had their opportunity, and Esposito on his knees in front of the net just looks up as if to say, oh my. It was dumped in from the point, and it trickled around that crease and in front. And Perron couldn't get it, and the Bruins kept poking, and it couldn't find the hole.
Ed Van Impe actually jammed Forbes in a Perron, which may have made him lose his concentration momentarily as he tried to just keep his eye on the puck.
Lonsbury out on the left wing with Clark and Dornhofer. Slides into Van Impe, cross in front of his own goal mouth, off the boards to center ice. Orr controls, challenge, dumps it back in, a bouncing puck wide of Perron. There's Van Impe, winds it away from Forbes up to Dornhofer, tries to get it out, shoves it to center ice, and is jammed up just outside his own blue line on the right wing by Sims. And that's where the face-off will be after 46 seconds of scoreless play in overtime.
The shot figures 8-7 Boston in that third period of play, I think, is a pretty good indication of the style of play. Neither team wanted to take any chances. Bruins were trying to protect their lead. The Flyers playing for the big play, and they finally got it.
Now we've got McLeish out there. No change. Espo still with Hodge. Dumped into Bladen. Crosses far circle in the Flyer zone to DuPont. Up the slot to McLeish. Slaps one off Sims' stick down alongside Gilbert. Sets it up for Forbes. Around the net. Stolen by Dornhofer. Looks to center. Off his skate. Away, and Hodge has it. Comes up ice to Esposito at center. Breaking right up the middle is Forbes. Shot off the far corner. Hodge centers it. There is Esposito. Back to Sims with a drive. Save by Perron on the screen. And the rebound was tipped to the corner, and Bladen shoots it down the ice, and icing will be called as it winds its way around to the far side and touched by Orr. 1:22 gone, and the Bruins have been pressing ever since overtime began.
Bruins storming the gate, but thus far it's been shut to them as Perron and his defensive-minded teammates have closed the door thus far. Sudden death overtime. Every time either club penetrates the attacking zone could be the deciding goal. And again, this is what makes the game of professional hockey and playoff so exciting. The big drive by Al Sims, finding its way through to Perron. He made the right pad save. And it was Lonsbury who cleared it out of the crease.
Shepard against the Kindrachuk line. Orr moves to the near point. It gets back to Nole, and he slides at the center, going all the way to the Bruins zone, and it will be icing if Vadnais gets there first, and he does. And had Zaleski gotten there first, it would have been offside. 1:30 gone in overtime, and the Bruins have kept the heat on the Flyers and get the fourth face-off in the first 90 seconds of this extra play, either to the left or right of Perron, this time to his right. And we noticed, Don, that Orr doesn't go off the ice. He just switched from the right point to the left, and he's out with Vadnais. Shepard will take the draw with Kindrachuk. Puck dropped in front. Jimmy Watson goes behind the net, out to the far side. Carams a pass up to Zaleski. Slips the center ice for Kindrachuk. He carams it off the near boards down behind Gilbert. There's Orr. Chased by Nole. tied up, tries to unload the puck. Can is tied up and will get a face-off this time to the right of Gilbert after 1:45 of scoreless play in overtime. 2-2 the score.
This is exactly what the Flyers are playing for, to try and get the puck in the Boston end, get either the good shot or the face-off so they can set up in front of the Boston netminder. It'll be in the circle to the right of Gilbert as the Flyers go with Kindrachuk, Nole, and Selesky.
Swept out by Busick in the center ice. Can't get past DuPont. And Busick carrying it in, and we're going to have an offside Boston as the fans look for a penalty, perhaps an interference call on DuPont, and that's what Schmaltz is looking at right now.
Although it was marginal and could have very easily been called, I don't even know if Art Skov saw the play, as the puck had gotten by when Schmaltz was taken down.
DuPont, as it comes to center, doesn't wait for Zaleski to come out, and Don was out slow, and he dumped it in offside. 1:57 gone in scoreless overtime.
These are the two lines that sparked their respective clubs on Tuesday night, and both coaches hoping they can do it tonight.
Kindrachuk into the zone. Vadney has it, is tied up. Zaleski tries to deke in. He spun around. They lift it out to center ice. Kindrachuk waits for his line to clear. Dumps it past Schmaltz down behind Gilbert. He sets it up. Dallas Smith around the near side looking for Busick. He can't get out. Into the corner. Nole can't center. There's Bladen. In there is Skov. The five of them battle away, and again we get a stoppage with 2:20 gone in overtime, and it's 2-2.
Faceoff will be in the circle to the left of Gilbert this time as the Flyers send out Clark, Flett, and Bill Barber. It'll be interesting to see if Pep Gwidlin stays with his third line of Shepard, Busick, and Schmaltz, and apparently that's what the call will be.
To the left of Gilbert. Clark now wipes something off his blade. Matt Pavlich wants them set. Waits for Barber to get out of the circle with Busick. Drops the puck. Flat shot wide as it caromed a little bit off the stick of Vadney. And Dallas Smith lifts it down the ice. It's going to be icing this time against Boston as DuPont gets there. 2:31 gone in overtime. 2-2 the score.
And so the cat and mouse game between the Flyers and the Bruins continues. Would like to pass on this reminder once more. The Flyers will not be arriving after tonight's game at Philadelphia International Airport's main terminal. They are scheduled to arrive at a service area just south of the airport's overseas terminal on Island Avenue. Arrival time now is scheduled tentatively for 1:15 a.m.
Shepard back to the point. Jimmy Watson on the backhander. Cuts to the middle. Dumps it in on the net. They scramble for it, and Clark couldn't get it away as Vadney was there to take it up and lead up ice. Hawked by Clark. Stolen away by Barber, who pivots around and rolls it down into the Boston zone along the Flyers' offensive left wing. Smith behind the net. Pokes a Karen pass nicely up to Busick. Schmaltz on the far wing. Off his stick. Jimmy Watson trailing into the corner. Dumps it out the far side. Shepard behind the net. Schmaltz is there. Looks to center. Vadney breaks for the net. Tries to scoop it free. Jimmy Watson and Schmaltz can't break it out, and the face-off now with a stoppage of play behind Perron goes to his left with 3:02 gone in a scoreless overtime. We keep saying scoreless, but it can't be anything else but.
That's true. First team that scores is the game winner. And as the penalties stand now even at 10 aside, a penalty to either club could end up being costly in overtime, because it only takes one to wrap this one up.
Well, he wants the big strong line in there now. I would think you'd look for that every time the Bruins get a stoppage of play at the Philadelphia end. Now it's not Forbes, but Marcotte on the left wing for Cashman, along with Esposito and Hodge, Orr and Sims. Flyer to Lonsbury, Dornhofer, and Clark with Van Impe and Jimmy Watson. To the left of Perron. Puck drops, slid in front and tipped behind by Van Impe. Jimmy Watson ices it, and we're going to have another face-off as soon as Sims catches up. Flyers do not want to gamble with an errant pass with that trio and Orr at the point out there. 3:12 gone in overtime. 2-2 the score. Cashman and Esposito in the first period. Clark early in the second, and DuPont with 52 seconds remaining, and Perron out of the net to tie it.
Don't forget, Game 3 of this series will be back at the Spectrum on Sunday afternoon, a 4:05 face-off.
Clark again with Esposito. Into Jimmy Watson, who gets the draw, goes behind the net. Espo in front, Marcotte checking inside the blue line along the near side. Jimmy Watson dekes Espo, gives up to Van Impe, trying to play through to Dornhofer, picked off by Vadney. He's looking for the bomb pass, but dumps it back into the Bruin zone as he was hit by McLeish. Up to Hodge. Hodge forecheck, loses it to McLeish. Loses it back to Esposito. Breaks over the line. Shot! Tipped wide off the defenseman, Dan Imp. Up along the near side. Here comes Lonsbury breaking. The Bruins have 3, now 4 men back. Lonsbury at the Boston line. Wants to turn Orr. Can't. Orr rides him off and takes the puck and starts the other way. Marcotte on the deep left side. Orr at the line. Penetrates. Going right up the slot. He's stopped and a great check. And out comes Dornhofer on the right wing. Orr is hurt. There's a drop pass to McLeish. He's got Lonsbury and he couldn't hit him in the slot. Lonsbury in the corner. Throws it behind the net. Dornhofer there. Comes out the near side. Lifts to McLeish. Shot! And a great save by Gilbert. And the Bruins ice the puck. And Orr seems to be in a lot of pain as the play is called now.
His right knee, Gene, his right knee, and he took a perfectly good and legal check. With 15:41 left in sudden death overtime, the score is tied 2-2. Orr is off to the Bruins bench as the Flyers now go with Crisp, Selesky, and Ole. Face off to the right of Gilbert. It's going to be Greg Shepard between Bobby Schmatz on the right and Johnny Busick on the left.
Rolls in front. Vadnais, it tips off his stick right in on Gilbert to Dallas Smith. Looks up along the near boards. Pass blocked by Nole. Busick is there. Kept in by Crisp. They fight along the near side, and it's dumped by Crisp into the corner. Vadnais behind the net. Pokes it past Selesky. In there, poked away from Schmatz. Shepard tries to get it out on the Crisp stick. Dumps it behind the net. Selesky is there. Looks to center. Off the side shot. Rebound Crisp, and a great save by Gilbert. As there was for the Flyers. Schmatz up the center ice. Tipped away from Busick. Back over the line, Selesky. Shot into Dallas Smith. And Smith just shoots it down the ice, and the Bruins again will be called for icing. Flyers had 2 rips. The best one by Crisp in the slot, and Gilbert came up with a pair of fine saves.
Well, the Bruins now are feeling the Flyer pressure in sudden death overtime as we're 4:57 into sudden death overtime. With a face-off this time in the circle to the left of Gilbert. The Flyers sensing Bruins blood. They'd like to go back home to Philadelphia with 1 game as Crisp had a golden opportunity. Bobby Orr, shaken up on his last shift, is still on the Boston bench, and it appeared to be his right knee.
Crisp at Shepard's skate, rolls to Dallas Smith behind the Boston net. Out the far side, passes up to Vadnais. To Schmatz. Schmatz forecheck by Selesky. Dumps at the center. There's Busick with Shepard right behind him. At the line. Dumps it into the corner. Looks to throw a pass. Shepard off the near board. Smith will take it, but it goes to Busick. Back to the point, and nobody was there as Dallas Smith had committed himself in, and Vadnais was along the left side in no position. Played 5:23 into overtime, and Jimmy Watson intercepts Vadnais' clearing pass at center. Had trouble controlling and just dragged it into the Boston zone, catching his wings offside. 5:27 gone in overtime. 2-2 the score.
Well, bad right knee or not, number 4 is back on the ice. And I think it is really, he's the type of a player, Gene, that takes a really crippling injury to get him off the ice. He'll go on one wheel if that is the case.
Savard with Marcotte and O'Reilly. Clark tries to shove a pass in the flat. On the shot, short side save by Gilbert. Dumps it behind. Barber right out in front. Clark pokes at it. They scramble. And it's dug out now by Orr. Up on the left side, right side for Marcotte. Savard breaking into the zone. Going into the corner. Marcotte for the net. Savard can't center it as he's ridden off nicely by Jimmy Watson. Now it's cleared by Flett up to Clark. Avoids Marcotte's check to center for Barber against Orr. He wants to turn Orr. There's a shot. And Gilbert makes the grab and trickles off his glove. Cleared out to the point. Marcotte has it there and gives it away to Van Imp. Van Imp, as Savard tried to challenge him, fires it back into the Boston zone. Up along the near side. Barber and Clark bumping. Make that Marcotte, and it's flipped out of the rink, and we'll have a face-off at center ice with 6:07 gone in overtime.
Don Marcotte, Gene, is a player that's been coveted by a lot of clubs, especially some of the newer clubs coming into the National Hockey League. He has got to rank as one of the top two-way players in the NHL. He'll give you a great offensive move as well as a great defensive move. And he's not afraid of the heavy hitting. In fact, he loves to bump.
Savard, O'Reilly, and Marcotte, McLeish, Dornhofer, and Lonsbury. Tipped into DuPont, has trouble with it. Tries to take it into the corner. He's tripped up, but lifts it down along the far boards, and that'll be icing as Orr could not make a play, and Orr slowly after it. And as soon as the icing is called, I look for Esposito's line to come back on with a face-off in the Flyer zone deep to the left of Perrant. 6:22 gone in overtime.
Well, you're right, Gene, because just as soon as they come back to the Flyers' end, they come over.
13:38 remaining in the first overtime. 2-2 the score. Esposito, Forbes, and Hodge with Orr and Sims. Clark, McLeish, and Lonsbury make that Clark Lonsbury and Dornhofer with Bladen and Andre Dupont to the left of Perron. Puck goes in the corner. Andre ties it up. Talked by Hodge. Digs it out to Lonsbury. Carrying that puck, and he'll bring it to his own line. As Dupont drops his helmet, comes over the line. Lonsbury shot. Deflected. Rolls along the ledge in the near corner. Cleared by Forbes to Orr. Behind his own net. Leaves for Hodge. Hodge out along the near side. Stick handling still. Trying to get out. Almost gives it away to Dornhofer. Slides back to Orr, who carries to center ice. Orr to Esposito. Slaps it in that far corner. Tipped off Perron's glove. Goes to Bladen. Nice back pass along the near side to Lonsbury. Tries to get it out and does to center. Esposito to Marcotte. Over the line to Forbes. Drop pass. Hodge tipped off the skate and stick nicely by Dupont, who's playing without a helmet. Up to Esposito. Pivots and dumps it down behind Perron. Perron leaves it on the near side for Bladen. Bladen fails to get it out. Now it's tipped out to the line. Orr with a drive. Tipped wide by Espo if he did get a stick on it. Lifted up along the near side and out to center ice. McLeish onside against Orr. Over the line. He's by himself. Still by himself. Dumps it into the corner. There is Dornhofer trying to take it away from Orr. Can't. Orr pokes it once. McLeish blocks. Orr trying again. Gets it up to the near side to Forbes. Pass is stolen by Zaleski. Zaleski's got McLeish on the far side. Fails to hit him with a pass. McLeish into the corner. Behind the net it goes to Zaleski. Tied up and out of the puck. With the puck comes Hodge. To the point to Forbes. Just rolls at the center onto the stick of Jimmy Watson. Watson up along that far board. Over the line. Winds up. Shot! Hit the outside of the post. Rebound tipped off the side of the net by Zaleski as he tried to center. Now it's to Hodge. Hodge up looking for Espo. Pass tipped right to Forbes by Nolay. Head shot wide off Van Impe's skate to the far boards. Overskating it, but coming in is Schwartz. Shot wide. As that puck just lay there, Nolay trying to come out with it. Does along the near side with Kindrachuk. Tries to feed a pass. It's blocked. He picks it up himself. Right in front. Tipped to the near side to Kindrachuk. Kindrachuk tied up. Looks to center. Knocked off his stick nicely by Vadnais to that far corner. Schwartz in there. Winds it past Kindrachuk to the near side. Forbes with Nolay. They battle for it behind the net. Kindrachuk looks to center. Comes out the near side. Looks to center. Still wants to center. It's tipped past Zaleski and down the ice. Schwartz breaking for it. Tipped off Jimmy Watson's stick into Perron, who steers it off to Watson on the far side. Right wing pass to Flett. As Busick threw a good check on Jimmy Watson. Pass to Kindrachuk. Zaleski, I think they want a line change. They look a little winded, and they'd better get off quick because this is when you can get burned. Schwartz with a shot, wide of the net. Perron reached out to get a piece of it. Now it's Van Impe back there. He's tied up by Busick. In there is Schwartz, and the face-off will come as we played 9:05 into overtime, and we're tied at 2, and that was furious action.
You know, I have to think back, Gene, to when the Flyers nailed down the semifinal round against the Rangers. Boston was waiting for them, and everyone said that the Flyers are in way over their head against the Boston Bruins. But this has been 2 of the finest hockey games I think we've seen in the series thus far.
Back here at Boston, Shepard out with Schwartz and Busick, Clark with Barber and Dornhofer. Back to Orr at the point. Doesn't shoot. Into Busick along the near boards. Tied up by Dornhofer. Out to Orr again. Back over Busick's head. Around past Perron to the far corner. Dupont in there along with Schwartz. Has a bear hug on Schwartz. Now Shepard ties up Barber. They try to spring it free. It rolls behind Perron, but after the whistle blew. And the Boston fans are beside themselves as it appeared Dupont put a bear hug on Schwartz.
As they both went into the far corner to our left for that loose puck, Dupont tried to cut inside of Schwartz. And one hand did trail, but Schwartz also had a hold of him with his left arm himself. So you could say double holding minus right there.
All right, Shepard and Clark. Schwartz. Best game we've seen Schwartz play for Boston, Don. He's been right involved. Puck right in front. And Bladen tipped it to the near boards as Busick charged it. But again, for naught as the whistle was blown on a false face-off. And Art Skov now, instead of being in the near corner, is right there with the face-off personnel. And we've got Perron coming out. And he's pointed to some debris that comes out here. And now Joe Watson's coming out. And I think, let's see, Joe Watson is going to be the one that goes off. See, they try to play a little hanky-panky there. Joe Watson going out casually and then Bladen going off, but no work. All right, Clark, big draw with Shepard in the Flyer zone. It goes to Busick. Wants to get a shot. Tipped out, but not out all the way. Along the near side. Bladen will try to clear it to center. Kept in by Dallas Smith. Throws it on the net. Perron eye high. Dumps it behind for Bladen. Bladen winding it around near side. Shepard ties up Barber. Pass to Schmaltz. Schmaltz off Perrant's glove. Ricochets into the near side, and Nollet has clear sailing to center. Puck tipped off a skate, though, back in the Flyer zone. DuPont dumps to center. Vadnais with it. Digs past one man. Can't get past Clark. Tries to tie it up. Schmaltz digs it out. Plays it off one man. Here goes Shepard. 2-on-1. Busick in alone. Shoots. Perrant, a great save on the breakaway. Perrant saves the game right there. And John D'Amico went heavily into the boards on that far side, I think, hit by Busick. And he's shaken up. But Perrant saved the day as Shepard and Busick all alone, and the greatest career scorer in Bruins history was beaten.
Just a super save, and there's very few times in his career I've ever seen John Busick miss on a breakaway. But he was facing the top netminder in the league in Bernie Perrant. D'Amico apparently okay, just shaken up on that bump. Busick off the backhander, and Bernie Perrant waited for his move and then took the shot away as he stopped the Chief right on his doorstep. 2-2 the score. 10:01 gone into sudden death overtime. The first of who knows how long this could go.
Don, there certainly hasn't been a timid overtime, as both teams have had ample opportunities to end it.
That they have. Now the big line on for Boston against the Clark line for the Flyers.
Lonsbury and Dornhofer with Clark. We got Busick out there with Esposito and Hodge. Vadnais and Orr. Pass up along the near side. Checking is Busick, trying to steal it away from Ford. To the point from Hodge, and it cleared the center as both Orr had committed himself. And now over the line comes Busick. He's got Busick in front again! And he couldn't get his stick on it. And into the near corner to Dornhofer. Behind the net, far side, goes Joe Watson. Wants to get it out. Off the far boards, down the ice. Chasing it. It will be icing as Orr catches up. And now the Bruins are turning the screws tighter as John Busick had a great shift.
2 breakaway opportunities, but the second one, they cut inside the puck carrier and Busick to cut off any possible breakaway on the second attempt, but he was in good position, and that's the name of the game. Fred Shiro juggling his lines now as he has Jimmy Watson along with Ed Van Impe on defense, and he stays with Dornhofer, Clark, and Lonsbury.
Big draw. Espo and Matt Pavlich wants him lined up. Puck drop, goes to Espo, to Hodge. Shot, save, rebound. Taken away from Espo by Clark. He's hooked by Espo as he comes up ice, overskates the puck. But Lonsbury plays to center. Van Impe can't get to it. And as Sims tries to poke a Karen pass off the boards down the ice, it comes into the seats. And we'll have a face-off in neutral zone.
Well, Gene, I guess you could say now we're even. Clark should have gone off for hooking Hodge. Esposito should have gone off for hooking Clark right there. So we're even on the board there.
That's Depp Gwendolyn looking on behind the Bruin bench. Dornhofer, McLeish, Lonsbury, Hodge, Marcotte, and Esposito. And Orr back there. And Orr plays either the right point or the left point. Pass up. Down goes Jimmy Watson. And the Bruins can't keep it in. But the Bruins are now pressing the Flyers, who had the best of it for about 6 minutes. We've played 11 minutes into overtime. Pass to McLeish. Gets past Marcotte. Got Dornhofer breaking on the near side, and Sims makes a nice play as Marcotte comes back the other way. Over the line to Espo. Tips it in off Jimmy Watson's stick to the near side. And it's played out at center ice. Sims back in his own zone. Off the boards. Up to O'Reilly, who's on. Pivots at center. Right up the middle with Esposito on his right. Shot! Perrant makes the glove save. And O'Reilly was knocked down by Van Impe as the Flyers clear up to McLeish. Looking for Lonsbury, and the pass is behind him offside. And McLeish was beside himself because it looked like Lonsbury might have been able to make a tough play on Orr. Back here at Boston, we played 11 minutes and 35 seconds into the first overtime. 2-2 the score. Savard, O'Reilly, and Marcotte against Clark. Schultz seeing his first overtime action with Flett, Jimmy Watson, and Van Impe. Back to Van Impe, up and over the near red line. Dumps it in, but can't as Marcotte blocks it. Goes to Clark, back to Marcotte, all of this in center ice. Finally, Van Impe does get it in. Flips it to Gilbert. Knocked down in front by Vadnais. Wound around to O'Reilly. Port check by Clark. Schultz breaks it up. Schultz behind the net. Centers. Flat. Tries to Clark. Shot! Oh! Rebound! Score! Bobby Clark scores!
Scored the game winner at 12 minutes and 1 second of sudden death overtime. He was blocked on the first shot. He made the second one, and the
Flyers have picked up their win in Boston. The first win on this ice since November 12th, 1967. And the Flyers come back home to the Spectrum all even in games in the Stanley Cup Finals 1-1. Clark, his second goal of the game. He scored the first Flyer goal and the game winner in sudden death overtime. Flint and Schultz the assist. Clark went across the goal line just enough. The light went on and the Flyers are the winners. The final score 3-2.